going to the store and getting a beer or something, but like I still feel weird actually about getting alcohol. It's not like dawned on me that I'm 21 and can do that stuff
that
yet.
you're a real boy.
That I am a real boy. Actually, wait, we're live, right?
Oh, now we are. You know, I
Now we are.
totally flipped it
Okay.
right middle of that conversation, my man.
Okay. All right. No, there's a thing that I might be doing soon that may prove my worth as a real boy,
Uh huh.
but
But you're not allowed.
I
You're not allowed to talk about it yet.
I am. It's not even that I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. It's just
You
that
you
I
want
don't
me?
want it to necessarily be out there.
You want me to flip it
in
back
any-
over so you can just tell us, and then
Oh no, no, no! I mean, it's something more like personal, not necessarily in a businessy sense.
I
Although
care.
there is a thing like that in the works that I'm like dying to hear back about. But
I care about you personally as well. Like it's not just your business that I care about. I care about you.
no, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can DM you. I
Slide in
can I
those
can
DMs.
drop I can
You're
drop
just
it
gonna
in
leave
this.
an option out of it like that, huh? That's fucked
I
up.
mean, I can drop it in this chat so that everybody who's going to be on this podcast can see what it is.
All right, I will remind you to do that.
I'll do it right now. Don't try me.
Well, I don't want you to do it right now because I might have to pull up the chat later for bets. I don't
Okay,
want somebody to
okay,
accidentally see it.
okay,
I'm
okay.
thinking about you because I care about you.
Of course, and it's you care about my personal stuff, not my business.
Always. All of it. All of the above. Hey,
Okay.
everybody. Welcome to Bonus Content. I'm Alex. Nabishin's here. Moises is here. Scott's out this week. He's in Seattle. And I cannot emphasize enough how fascinating that is to me. I just want to know. I want to know what Scott is doing constantly, but he'll never respond to our messages. Like, I understand that. I could text Scott. I could call Scott. He's not going to answer. I'm very curious. The thing is, like, I'm not going to be on the show next week. I'll be on vacation. So y'all are going to have to really fucking scoop the news out of Scott without me. I'm trusting you with this, Namishin. Scott's Seattle Party is going to be the name of that episode. I'm calling it now. Call it shot.
Scoop the news out of Scott
I want you to scoop
is
that.
really fantastic phrasing on your behalf. I just want you to know that right now.
Thanks, man. We got Last Geek, my boy Bryce, in the chat right now. He says he wants to know about your personal business.
Oh, yeah. No, Bryce, I can't tell you about my personal business. It's personal. I'm sorry. It's between me and another person, and maybe a third. But that's
I'll be your maybe.
Yeah.
You'll be my maybe. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Tony.
Sup?
Welcome to Bonus Content. Tony, I want you to tell me what you think Scott is doing in Seattle right now.
Fucking.
He's just fucking.
Rampantly.
He's just raw dog.
He's going at it.
He's going buck wild. I just don't know. I want to know. I'm very curious. I'm a very nosy person by nature.
I really wish he was a person who'd pick up his phone calls. Now we can get him as a call-in
Well, that's
here.
just never gonna. That's just not who he is. I'm not asking Scott to change for me.
Me either.
That's wrong. Everyone has their struggles. Everyone has their things.
Picking up a phone call is a struggle. Damn.
It is for some
It
people.
is for Scott.
And in this case, it is for Scott.
Scott sounds like the type of person that I want to be.
Moises,
Same.
you are true. You
I am
are
true.
you are true. You're the first OK Beaster we've had since the incredible success and launch of your Patreon. How's that feel?
I could have. Oh yeah, I guess Blessing was on
Blessing was
like
right
2 days
there.
before.
He's like, hey man, we're announcing some cool stuff for our anniversary.
our anniversary. Yeah,
And he wouldn't fucking tell us.
we were like trying to push him to like really heavily promote the anniversary. But yeah, no, we have a sort of successful. The phrasing around it is something that
I'd say like
still,
for like the size of your site and the size of the stuff.
yeah,
that you
like
guys do,
absolutely, like relative to like our size, we've had a
very successful. Yeah.
very successful Patreon. Yes.
How's that
And
feel?
now it's all downhill from here.
I mean, you're what, a month in now, right?
We are a month in. I can confirm that.
I can confirm time has passed.
I can confirm time has passed. The new month is upon us. So stuff did come through. I'm a
Yeah,
$3 patron, so like they even took some of my money.
Why?
Um,
Okay.
That makes no sense, but okay.
You paid yourself.
I did pay myself, so take whatever's there and subtract $3, and that's how
Technically, you
much.
paid $2.70 to yourself, and then Patreon took 30 cents from you. That 10% cut.
They take a 10% cut. I don't even
believe.
know. I don't. I'm not the one who like deals with all of that. That's
Is that Alex?
the older.
I want to know which of the two is it. I want to know if it's Alex, so I can pinpoint his weaknesses.
I can neither confirm nor deny that it is Alex Van Aken who does the adult stuff for us. But yeah, no, Patreon happened. We launched it. It was a moderate success. I actually, compared to what we expected, which was next to nothing, a huge success.
I want to know what you guys
Here we are.
actually genuinely expected, because I expected this. I expected the positive outcome.
Okay, so in the back of my mind, I always thought that we would do very well. I thought that um
Hell yeah, you did, Moises. Fucking ride the gravy train.
I like I wouldn't have joined OKB's like
I
whatever
wouldn't
the
have
fuck
hopped
I
on a
did.
dead horse, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have joined OKB's whenever the hell I did if I wasn't like the biggest fan of those guys.
Uh-huh.
And if I didn't think that they would find huge success in whatever they decided to do. And I mean, I can personally say that like since I joined, I was a big proponent for starting the Patreon.
Oh.
Not necessarily to get paid, because I can confirm that I made very little. But like I wanted them to have that type of success. I know like how good a Patreon looks alongside a site with content constantly on it, a YouTube site that's sort of booming in terms of like the numbers for our size and that delivers as frequently and as consistently as it does. So I always knew they would do well rather. I'm an English. Well, I'm sort of an English major. Um, and so yeah, I always thought that we would do really well. Um, I think blessing, and for the most part, like by the time we had gotten to actually launching it, we sort of went into it thinking like if we hit the first goal within the first month, that would be fine. Like we sort of were realistically like we'll probably make like 100 maybe
That was
based on
$100, right? Was that first goal?
yeah. And Blessing strategically put the goal that he wanted to do the most at 100, so that if we did hit it quickly, that he could get started on making that a reality. And that's like a debate podcast called. Well, I don't actually know if the name is on the Patreon.
They said a name. I don't know if it was the final one.
Yeah. What either way, like he wants to do that debate podcast. And yeah, then we launched, and it did really well. It exceeded my expectations for sure. But also like I pretty much knew that like you guys love us. People love us. Like this would find some success.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to be right. Because it's been a tremendous like boost. In terms of my personal morale, I sort of settled into a bit of a funk in the last month because I had like a deadline every other day for OKB stuff or for school stuff in June. Like the last 2 weeks, I keep telling people like I wrote like 15 essays, which is way more than I ever wanted to do.
That sounds fun. It doesn't actually at all, but
It is miserable, especially. I mean, that's just miserable. But yeah, it's been a morale boost. It's a small cushion for all of us. I think it definitely makes us look good. For when we,
just out here trying to look good
yeah, we want to look good. We
for
want
when you
to
take over the world.
we want to appeal to the people who will maybe higher ups who might wanna support us at some point. Um, yeah,
Give you that ad
Patreon's been
money.
good.
Get that MeUndies money. Really?
Exactly. I mean, that's the
I want to
sponsorship
get that
I'm
money.
personally shooting for.
It's good sponsorship.
It's great
I
sponsorship.
I need the undies, me undies, please. If you're in the chat,
If you're in the chat right now,
MeUndies, if you're
give
in the chat.
me the. I
They're
don't
in the
even care
chat.
about the money. Give me the underwear.
they heard that I recently purchased like 10 of those
Did you really?
I got my
Yeah.
email.
Good man.
I
over
have
the past
the
month.
yeah, I have the
One
monthly
day that
subscription.
me undies money is gonna come to me.
I got the email last night that my June pair of MeUndies is on its way.
Oh, mine doesn't come out mine doesn't ship till the 16th. So
Mine will be here by the 10th. Pretty exciting.
Real talk. How much are me undies?
the ones that I get are like 15, 16, something like that a pair.
They're normally
Okay.
$20 a pair. If you do the subscription, so it's one pair a month. It's $16 a pair.
Okay, 16. Yeah, that sounds right.
And all shipping is free in the United States. So it's just that $16.
Oh, oh.
It's not bad.
This is worth it, dude.
Yeah,
Straight up.
I got
I
Tony
like-
on it. It's life changing.
I was like, Alex has been wearing these for a while and hasn't complained on bonus content about his underwear yet. So I'm gonna give this a shot. So I went on there and I bought started a subscription on one pair, but bought two pairs and then a pair of socks because I wanted to see what the socks were like. Because I got new shoes that I didn't want to wear my old socks with because they're cut much lower than previous shoes. So I wanted no-show socks. So I got the no-show socks to see if they were good, if they slipped off my foot or not. And then I got two pairs. And then after I got those first two pairs, I was like, fuck this. And then I bought another 6 pairs. And 6 pairs of socks. So, I'm in
You
this.
just dived right into that.
And then 2 more this month. So.
They have a special pair that they're selling for the month of June for Pride Month, called True Colors, and donates to the True Colors Fund, which donates to homeless LGBTQ youth. So that's the pair I'm getting this month. I'm pretty excited about it. So there you go. There's your
That's
little
weirdly
free
specific.
MeUndies sponsorship
Yeah, just so you know, half of the people on this podcast are wearing them right now.
right now.
Unless Navajin wants to come out of the woodwork and say,
I
"Hey, I
an
got
option
them on
to try a
too."
free pair once.
I've got a couple. I still have some.
Oh.
I'll start my subscription maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I just never went back to it.
They're good.
But
I like
who's
them though, I like
currently
them.
wearing them though?
I'm currently wearing them.
Same.
Proud.
Yeah.
Got my purple pair on. Just a couple quick diversions before we get back to what we were talking about, Moises. I was on Bryce. He's in the chat he's Last Geek in the chat right now, and he said that I was on his podcast this past Monday, and he said, Alex, I just wanted you to know that I'm almost done with 2 deluxe footlong Subway cold cuts. This man told me that he goes to Subway and he gets 3 footlong sandwiches for lunch. Like, that's his meal. 3 deluxe footlong sandwiches. Deluxe means they put like double meat on it. Like, that sounds disgusting.
That.
That's his normal meal. I'm not trying to put Bryce on blast here. I had a great time on the show. I'll talk about it a little bit later. Then he tweeted me that night after we finished the podcast. He went to McDonald's and got 7 breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's. And that's like one meal for him, and I don't understand how he does it. He's also not enormously fat.
No. I mean, I've seen pictures of the dude. He looks good.
Yeah,
which
he
is
looks
why
good.
I'm concerned with this eating habit.
I'm concerned about you, Bryce. I told him that's 3 deluxe Subway sandwiches is 2,000 calories in bread alone.
That's a lot of sandwich.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on.
I mean, the man's gonna.
Do you think he's got a lot going on downstairs? You know what I mean?
I hope so. If he's eating that much sandwich,
About 3 foot longs worth.
3 foot.
Oh my god!
He said it was 3 McDoubles, 3 McChickens, and 2 sausage McGriddles. What?
How?
That's 8 sandwiches. That's too much. Moises, I'm very proud of you guys.
Oh, well, thank you.
Me too.
I always tell you that I literally wouldn't have started my initial site if it wasn't for you. So
I mean,
I would not
it's a
be in this
lie, but
position.
I
No,
appreciate it.
you say that all the time, and I literally have to give you the fucking spiel every time about how you forced me to make a fucking website so that I could talk to you about video games.
It's true. You were like, "Can I be on your Game of the Year content?" I'm like, "Do you have a website?" I
And
believe
I
I
didn't.
phrased it. Well, do you do anything?
Probably a little something
I
like
did.
that.
I did not say that.
But yeah, so I would not be here if not for you, Alex. Thank you very much for pushing me to do stuff.
No, I'm encouraged by all of you guys. Obviously, RationalPassions.com out here doing work as well. So we're all just working together, really.
Doing more work than me.
I mean, I honestly, of everyone on IP, I do the least work. I do like mostly just coordination and like, hey, this should go up here, and then I'll do editing like once a week.
You're a proper editor in chief, though. That's what you do.
I mean, yeah, I'm telling them
Honestly,
what to do.
of all the people in Rash Passions, I probably do the least work.
That's true.
Me and Scott.
Tony and
There
you
Scott
go.
show up and they party hard. That's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
that's my job description, dude. Party
It's his
hard.
bio.
Yeah, I show up, I party hard, I go home.
I want to be that guy.
It's underrated. It's underappreciated role, I think. Cameron Abbott's in the chat. Moises, your surrogate father.
My papa. Papa.
Please
How
don't
are
say-
you?
Please don't say that. He said.
Did I say Poppy instead?
No.
Yes.
Cameron says, like father, like son, as I too was influenced by Alex. I don't know what I did for Cameron. I want to take a shout out to Cameron Abbott. He's recorded a podcast every week for 100 episodes straight, which is really impressive.
I want to applaud my dad.
In our long history, have we ever done that?
I think we've done like 50 in a row, but not much more than that. Because we almost always take a week off in the Christmas season. Although we do like a holiday special now instead, but
Yeah.
no, that's not true because we have to record Game of the Year stuff and we'll like not we used to not put out a normal show during that. So yeah. I mean, my thing is like that's amazing. I think for us like taking a couple weeks off every year is fine. I'm okay with that, but that's really impressive. I'm proud of you, Cameron.
I'm proud of you too.
He's a good boy out there. Outside of that, Moises, how's life, man? How's life treating you?
Life is good. I gotta. It's really only good in that the pressures of school are off my back
Yeah.
for the first time in seemingly forever. So I am going to try and enjoy my summer by doing the only thing I know how to do, which these days is play something till 4 a.m,
Hell yeah.
collapse, wake up at like 2 o'clock with heartburn, just fucking it up. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, really. I mean, I've been seeing friends because a lot of friends came into town again from.
Do you think
School
Ross
all over
and
the state.
Rachel will ever get back together? I'm so sorry. I had to though. I really did.
Why? Why friends? Why friends?
Because you said friends. I've been seeing friends.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have. I kind of sort of recently watched that show, but no, I've been seeing friends. And they're all gone again. So now I'm back to being a hermit.
Nice. I love being a hermit, man.
Oh, it's so good. Except for the part where like my parents walk in from work at the end of like a long day, and they just find me on the couch with like my DualShock,
Fully
a
naked.
blanket over
With
me.
my dual shock.
DualShock.
Is that what you call your vibrator?
That's what I call mine, so it's understandable.
Yeah. It's got those two prongs. That's what I call mine too. So
Fuck
Yeah, dude.
God.
we're all on the same boat.
Yeah, I'm glad.
God. Took a bad turn.
Dude, I sometimes wonder like how I worry about how raunchy we get on this show. Which is to say, like barely at all, honestly. Especially if you talk to me like outside of a podcast in real life, I get way worse. And anyone here can attest to that.
Yep.
But then I'll like listen to a XCU and review episode, and Greg Miller will say, "Next time you see me, fuck me in my mouth," and I'm just like, "All right, this is fine. I think what we do here is fine."
So I know you're a big fan of MCU in review.
The interview show is now a series that I have to religiously watch.
Sell me on that, please, because I did not watch a single episode.
The thing is, like, to really enjoy its majesty, you have to just experience it. There are so many components of the in review show that I didn't expect that are incredible. What I would recommend, Moises, is you should watch the Thor Ragnarok in review episode.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
That's okay. I didn't rewatch any of the movies with them. I just watched the in review show. I had already seen all the movies. Thor Ragnarok now on Netflix. So it is.
I love that
accessible.
tweet that like Netflix sent out about like the four
Yeah,
things that.
It's more abs. I love that tweet too. I retweeted it.
Yeah, no, those apps. Godly.
That's a good one. Have you seen Spider-Man: Homecoming?
I have. I think the only movie that I haven't seen
Is Thor?
is Thor Ragnarok
Dude,
at this
it's
point.
one of the
Oh,
best
that
ones.
and Ant-Man, actually.
Ant-Man's really good.
I've heard that much, but
Or watch their X-Men 1 in review because it's very good. Or the most recent one is very good too. Thor Ragnarok, they just like they get drunk.
of course.
They get they get buck wild. It's so good. And I mean, like the part of that show is Greg goes through the plot of the movies like beat by beat, almost to a
Yeah,
T.
so like I think not the Civil War one even. I think it might have been like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, where like it was just as long, if not longer, than the movie.
That's a few of them now.
Oh my god.
X-Men 2 is as long as the movie.
Oh my god. Who would talk about X-Men 2 that much?
You would be surprised where they go with it. It's incredible. And Nabashin, you're with me on this. This episode's amazing.
Yeah, it's a weekly ritual that I really love.
Are you
Hey, the
rewatching
Winter-
the X-Men movies with them?
Oh yeah, I just saw X2 recently. I'll get to that when we get to me, but like yeah, it's really great stuff. Like in particular, like how he starts out just explaining Winter Soldier, just like, all right, we're in Watch DC, and we see Steve Rogers, and woo, this white boy can run. It's just real good.
It's like from that moment you're like, this is gonna be a good ride.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's every time Greg says tic tac, I lose my fucking mind.
Every time he says what?
In Civil War, Sam Falcon refers to Ant-Man as Tic Tac. And Greg's like, I've been working on my Falcon impression. Tic Tac, hey, Tic Tac. He just keeps saying it over and over again. It's the funniest thing. And so at some point, I was just walking around my house by myself saying Tic Tac to myself.
It's a way to be, dude.
Yeah, dude. So you should do that. I don't know how we got on the subject, but because of how raunchy we are.
There you go.
I'm excited for you to be on, Moises. We're not really going to be talking about news tonight, because what's the point?
Thank God.
E3 literally starts in less than 24 hours.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Shim is free, man.
I literally won't even be watching EA content.
We're living. E3 has begun. No shit.
According to the E3 Twitter account, day one was a fucking Wednesday.
Because we're playing a little inside baseball here now, because obviously you watched that this morning as well. I totally forgot about Jim.
I did too.
Until that moment, and I was like, "Fuck."
Like, this is why I love you guys. It's like they literally said, like, we're not talking about this. Like, the next time we bring this up in E3 next year, and like that's the first thing they did. I was like, oh my god.
They literally, and they said because I had to go reference the Easy Allies wiki. Because I was like, fuck, I forgot how deep a cut this was. And they said they were going to seal it in a vault until the beginning of next E3. And they literally...
Oh, they actually said that?
They literally said that.
Oh,
and they
wow.
literally opened the vault. With these numbers, Corey Barlog shows up for whatever reason.
Oh, my God.
If you are not a fan of Easy Allies, go watch their E3 2018 betting special because it's worth it. It's also a very good betting special, just very different dynamic, very exciting. Anyway, Tony, how's your week been?
God, do you really want to talk about this?
Yeah, dude, I am so sorry about everything that's happened to you this week.
So I guess I'll start with Friday night, which was after the last podcast that really like moments after the last podcast that you've heard.
Yeah.
So it was like when I like getting ready to go to bed or whatever, and loud ass noise comes from outside, and we're all like, "The fuck was that?" But look outside, nothing's there. It's just a dark street. So whatever, guess something happened, but who knows? Come the next morning, walk outside, go to my car, look at the side of my car, it's destroyed. Basically what had happened is it like rained really heavy on Friday night, and this is what I'm assuming. Some guy coming down my street, even though the side of the street is wider than a highway lane is, rammed somehow into this back quarter panel of my car, did a ton of damage to it, broke both quarter panels, or the quarter panel, the side rail was off the car. There's a bunch of junk happened to it, really. So anyway, I go out the next day, and I have I talked to my insurance, have an adjuster come out to take a look at it, because, well, obviously someone hit my car and they fucking flew away out of there. No one saw the car, even though we looked outside like moments after the sound. Anyway, so I go out, I get I have to work that on Saturday. And so I go get talk to my insurance, file a claim, go to get a rental car because they cover a rental car in this case. And then go straight from getting the rental car to work. And then I was at work for like 12 hours. So anyway, I come back from that basically and just like working throughout the weekend. Then on Monday, I get a call while I'm at work, and there's an adjuster at my house to take a look at the car. He says that it takes him like an hour and a half or whatever, and he kind of tabulates all the stuff that happened to it. And he says normally the car will be totaled, but because and I think I talked about this years ago when it happened, but when I went to like get an oil change on my car because I was feeling lazy one time, the place that I went to do that change, they screwed up my engine. They completely destroyed the engine. So
Wow.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I go to the guy's like, since there's a new engine in the thing, it's going to you kind of bought yourself back some like time on it because the engine makes the car worth a little bit more. The way that insurance decides if a car is totaled or not is based on the value of it that's left, and like how much damage it is to see if it's worth them fixing the car. So I had like $1,000 of wiggle room of damages on the car, and so anyway, it gets to the body shop, and the body shop takes a look. I get a call the next day, which this was Tuesday, and they're like, yeah, there's a little bit more damage on the car. It's totaled. So that's how my car got totaled, which is super lame because I just spent a ton of money relicensing it and re-registering it in the state of Maryland from Las Vegas. And I didn't have a car payment or anything, so I was actually like done spending money on the car at that point. So now I've got to figure something out because the insurance is going to pay me what the car was worth the second before it was totaled. That's, I guess, what they do when your car gets totaled. Mm-hmm. So I have to figure out buying a new car with that. So that's been the majority of my week, is dealing with that garbage.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm so sorry. It's unbelievable. Like,
right?
How does that even happen?
Exactly. Like, and if you've seen my street, which I know you haven't because you're a bad friend, never come hang out.
Okay.
But
can't agree.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. This is known. But
this is fact.
Yeah, it's like there's no surprise there.
It is known.
This is just part of the canon.
Yeah. So my street, like, it's a really safe street. There's not like anything on either side of it. And like I said, the shoulders where I park my car are wider than a typical highway lane would be. So it was very like surprising that, it was really just unfortunate that of all of the things, like all the ways that you could hit a car, it would be at that exact spot on that street. No cars on either side of the street within 100 meters. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I I like it's just like the hitting it and then just in the middle of the night and just ghosting.
Yeah, like all we heard was the sound. Like no one actually even saw the car. No saw the car speeding away. So the problem with that is since there was no car, then that means that I would have had to pay for the deductible if there was a deductible. But in this case, there's no one to pay me for wrecking my car.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the insurance in my own pocket, which really fucking sucks. But it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it.
But here's my glass half full response, Tony. Now you can get a transformer for a new car.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I actually I called up Bumblebee.
Yeah,
He's in the market
Bumblebee.
for a new friend.
No, I don't want Bumblebee. Fuck him. I was like, yo, where Optimus at?
I want that big boy.
Yeah.
Call up Ratchet.
I want that truck. Optimus is a truck, right?
He's the like big rig. Ratchet's like a Hummer, right? I don't know. He's like a medical truck.
I don't even watch the Transformers movies enough to know what the fuck anybody is.
I mean, I like that your point of reference is the Transformers movies. And
I mean, I watched I watched the cartoon as a kid, but I have no memory of it.
Well, maybe you could get a Transformer that's literally a fucking gun. Hit up
Dude, that'd be pretty sweet. It's a gun that turns into a fucking robot man.
Yeah, dude.
Sounds all right.
It's really messed up if you think about it.
No, it's great.
It's great also. Anything else like more positive happened this week?
Let me see. What else did I even do this week?
Did you have a good?
I did that. That happened. And I was at work. I had a good lunch or something.
Eat something nice.
I don't know. I went to. Let's see. I went to meet a nice lady at Starbucks right before this podcast started. That was all right.
That sounds all right.
She seemed nice.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Does she look
Did
like
you get
a
new car?
Not yet. So, yeah, I mean about that. Like, since I do have to, I have to find a new car and then eventually buy one, right?
We're so dumb now. We should.
Whatever, man.
We're leaving options open for you. She could look like a car.
She could. But yeah, like I've been looking at cars on like Craigslist, and trying to find, an option. And I've kind of like narrowed it down. I know what kind of car I want, but I just have to find the right deal on that car and then buy it. So,
yeah.
And there's actually a pretty good one like in like, I don't know, like 30 miles north of Baltimore that I might want to go take a look at. We'll see if I can get him to bring the price down from what he has it at to something more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I'll have a cool new car to talk about probably next week. So
cool.
If not like a week after, because I don't know, like the insurance won't let me keep the rental for that long without me having to pay for it. So I got to get a car because I got to get to work and stuff. If I Ubered to work and back every day, that's like $60 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fuck that.
Yeah. I know that feeling. Because my brother borrowed my car unbeknownst to me for some time last year. Very frustrating. Luckily the Uber's not $60, but still not fun to pay to go to work there and back.
Right, like you're supposed to go to work to make money, not spend a lot,
spend money
like
to get to work.
Solid chunk of what you make in a day.
Yeah.
On getting there and back. It's like why would I go at that point?
Keep us posted. I want to know about your car troubles, your car
absolutely
story. Scott somewhere in Seattle dodging cars, probably flipping cars. Is that what you're gonna say, Moises?
No, I was gonna say fucking.
Fucking.
He's
also fucking. Maybe. Nabashin, how's your week?
So. It's just been work, dude. Nothing but work.
Work in the X-Men universe.
I guess.
Are you watching this with Tony?
No. He wasn't really like, I don't know, like I could. It's just like Tony's been busy lately. Like he's been like,
I have been pretty busy.
Since he works in construction, like he's been working at nights now, so it's been like really hard as of late for us to like get together and hang out like we used to. So like but we still keep in touch though. So I'm pretty much just been watching this Solo. I also watched Solo, huh?
Yeah, Solo.
Good movie.
But yeah, like rewatching those movies is like a fucking trip, dude. Like it's so weird looking at like X-Men 2000, like the first X-Men movie in the year 2000. Seeing like how they just haven't figured out like how to do action scenes yet and things like that, and it's like it's just so it's so weird, but like it's still interesting though, which is weird. It's kind of like what Cameron said like years ago when we went to see Apocalypse in the movie theater. It's like all X-Men movies are just like okay. and it's like when I think about X2, like because I remember that movie so fondly, like back in the day, like oh yeah, I fucking love X2, and like I haven't seen it in like literal years. Like I haven't seen like in probably over 10 years until I rewatched it like this last few days ago, and man, that movie just not in any conceivable way holds up. Like and then like you know like the beginning scene of Nightcrawler is cool, and like it's cool seeing Wolverine going Wolverine, but it's like you know like it's the CG claws and like there's no blood anywhere, so like in a post Logan world it's just like man this just seems like they had like zero impact. It's just like so weird. Like Hugh Jackman's cool and he acts great in it, but like it's just like man. And Cyclops, holy shit!
Yeah, I was just about to ask, how bad is Cyclops?
He is like
he's bad.
He's so bad. It's like, why are you even here? Because like at least in the cartoon, even though he was like a wet blanket there, he was at least the leader, and you realize that he's the leader, and that's fine. For what that is, but like this one, he's barely even anything. It's like, why are you even a character in this universe? Like you're just like Jean Grey's boyfriend just because you are, and it's so weird just that character just even being here. It's it's like the weirdest choice I've ever seen, because like he does nothing. He literally does nothing. In X2, he's like in the movie for maybe like you see him in the beginning. You see him takes Professor X to go see Magneto. Then he gets knocked out. Then you don't see him till the end of the movie where he's hypnotized. He fights Jean Grey for like half a second before she just whips his ass almost immediately. And then then you just see him cry when Jean Grey dies. And it's like that's his whole character arc. And then in X3, he immediately dies.
Yep.
So it's like who are you? What? Like I don't know anything about you, and you're supposed to be Cable's dad. And it's like it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I guess that's right. He is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that relationship.
Yeah. And like I said, Scott Summers, Cyclops always been a wet blanket, even in the cartoons. But like, there was layers to him. There was fascination about him, like in the Dark Phoenix saga, when he was like legitimately like doing stuff to like save Jean Grey from her whole Dark Phoenix persona, and like even the whole aspect of his dad just being like a fucking space pirate. When they went into space, and just like, oh yeah, like that weird scene in God, I'm just remembering this scene. Like there was a conversation with him and his dad before they even knew who each other were. He's like, yeah, I have a father, but I don't really know where he's at. And like, yeah, I have a son on Earth too. I don't know where he's at either. Huh, weird. And then just go to the next scene. It's like that was a scene in the cartoon. Yeah, that's dumb. I'm changing it now, but like other than that, I bought Avatar: The Last Bender on Blu-ray, and that's great.
Hell,
it's great.
Yes.
Avatar, so great. I was on Ready Set Gamescast, the show I was referencing earlier. One of the hosts was watching Avatar.
Yeah, that's Teddy. Teddy's
yeah.
there, right? Yeah. Teddy's huge into that. Too much, maybe some people would say, but
there's never enough into Avatar: The Last Airbender. He wants an Avatar MMO.
I know he does.
Start in one of the nations. Get your powers and level up. I'm like, this is a great idea. I was like, are you talking about the blue people? He's like, no.
Surprised they're gonna kick you right off the show as soon as you said that.
I do want to say one more thing about the X-Men movies before we just completely stop talking about them.
Yeah.
Like I'm really interested to see X3 again, because X3 is so weird, because like I realize it's not a good movie, but like I had the was it the Blu-ray? I guess it was a Blu-ray at the time. I had the Blu-ray of that movie, and like I watched it constantly, over and over again. And like it's one of those movies where I get nothing out of it, but like I just watch it every time because it's on. Because I guess Wolverine's on the screen, and like, oh yeah, it's Wolverine, it's cool. Colossus there, all he does is throw people.
He does throw a lot of people.
But yeah, I'm really interested to see X3 again. Because Deadpool 2 happened, and like there's a character in that movie that's in X3, and that's real good. Yeah, so I'm just super jazzed to see that again. I think I'll enjoy that. I think I'll enjoy that more than I think I'll enjoy X3 more than I like X2. Like just in a memory type. Like X2 is a better movie. Just because like theme wise and stuff like that. But like for some reason I really enjoyed X3. I just don't know why.
X3 is the one I've watched the most recently. And I dislike that movie a great deal, but I don't dislike that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I totally get that.
It's got these moments in it, and like I see so much of what they were going for. Of like, let's just burn it all to the ground. Like, let's kill Xavier. Let's kill everyone, and let's end it on like this big thing. And I don't know. I think there is emotional poignance to that very ending.
I agree,
but it's everything around it that kind of comes. Also, like the whole like we're curing mutants, and like it's a good idea. It's executed on so poorly.
Like, even the whole Phoenix thing. It's like,
oh no, it's bad.
The Phoenix stuff
terrible.
Is
like I just don't even understand. Like what is this? Like as far as like this movie's context, it's just like Jean was like someone who was like has super. Was a super telepath, and then like Xavier sealed that all off, and then like it just became this kind of nuke bomb, just like this exploded after X2
with no real context. Like they don't really explain why.
Yeah, like in the end of X2, they had this scene where like not really a post credit scene, but like the scene where like they look over the ocean where like Jean Grey like supposedly died, and like you see like the silhouette of the Phoenix like in the water or something like that. So like like immediately I was like, oh my god, they're gonna go in space now. They're gonna do like the whole I think their name is Shiar or something like that. The whole thing from the cartoons. I was getting so hyped for that, and 3 was like nothing like that. Like you get like a look of a Sentinel head at the beginning of the movie because they had a danger room in that movie. Man, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, I'm excited.
Also, like, if you think about the continuity continuing after X3, technically, right? Like, Days of Future Past doesn't make any sense. Because, like, Xavier's just hanging out again, I guess. All right. Cool.
I think they gave context to that. Like Days of Future Past is a good movie. I love Days of Future Past, but like it's weird because like Wolverine got his claws again when in the Wolverine he lost them, and then like Xavier's back, Magneto got his powers back again, and it's so weird, dude. Like nothing makes sense, but like it's one of those things like what Greg always says. Like I don't like how we got here, but like the way it ended is like just made it all worth it, type of thing.
Yeah. And then you watch X-Men Apocalypse, and you're like, it wasn't worth it, actually. Wow.
Yeah, that's so true.
You guys ready to start recording?
Whenever you are.
Remember, you got to do that, Moises?
No, can you walk me through it one more time?
So you have your preferred recording audio software. I don't know what it is for you.
Okay.
And then you get that ready, and I'm going to do a countdown, and on one we all hit record. I'm very quiet.
No.
Check. Hello. Oh, now I'm much louder. My waveform is coming through pretty quiet.
By the way, what did that sound like when I joined you guys earlier?
It sounded like you were on your phone. It was fine.
Oh, okay. Like before, and then like before you guys could hear me.
Oh, like you sounded like you were very far away.
Oh, I was kind of far away. I don't know where the microphone in that rental car is, but
yeah, somewhere. It's supposed to be like around the steering wheel.
Whatever, man. It wasn't, so here we are.
Yeah, they lied to you. You lied to me.
You should get your money back.
I mean, yes, for a variety of reasons. Well, Why does Wolverine have claws? Have his claws again? Blah blah blah. I don't know. He lost them to Wolverine, right? I thought he just lost like one. I don't know what happened at the end of the Wolverine. If I'm being perfectly honest.
That's a fever dream. Like I remember, like he fought the Silver Samurai, and like the Silver Samurai caught off his adamantium claws, and like he still had his bone claws, so he just grew back his bone claws, so he had them, and he like that's how he killed them.
Bone claws is ready.
Yeah.
I feel like the Wolverine might not be canon though.
No, it has
sure
to.
It is.
The post credits makes it canon because that's when Xavier shows up out of nowhere, and that's when Magneto shows up, and that what led to Days of Future Past.
It's literally the only thing that I remember from the Wolverine. But yes, it has to be canon.
Maybe he went and got juiced up. He went to Alkaline Lake and he's like, top me off, guys. My hands are ready. Top me off. I just need a little bit more adamantium. I don't know.
No, not like this.
I'm trying to remember. My thing is, he has his, in the past sections of Days of Future Past, he only has his bone claws, though, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
That would have been a big no-no. I'm like, didn't that happen a little bit later? All right. Moises, you ready? Tony, Nabashin, you guys ready?
I could be ready. I could be convinced.
Okay. Please?
You're going to have to...
First Class is good, right?
First Class is, you've never seen it, it's very good.
First Class is probably still the best of the X-Men movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like standalone, like jumping right into it. I think it's good. I really like the two actors that play like the two lead roles, and I love Jennifer Lawrence. Obviously, like you don't need to sell me on Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique. I'm here for it. I assume Tony's ready now. Moises, I'm gonna count down from 5 to 1. On 1, we hit record. Cool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You did it.
Dude.
Hooray!
Are you recording?
Thank you.
Are you recording from the right microphone? Do you have a real boy microphone now?
I do have a real boy microphone. I was about to pick it up and show it off, and then I realized that it would probably come off bad on the mic.
You're coming through your headset microphone on Discord. I don't know if you want to.
I actually switched it over to this mic
Okay.
Discord like maybe 20 minutes ago, something like that.
Okay. I did stop hearing your you had some bumpies. You're like.
Yeah. I figured you were hearing that shit. So yeah, I'm on this one in front of me that you cannot see.
I appreciate you. You're a good boy.
No problem. I appreciate you too.
Best boy, one might say.
Yes.
I can hear Tony's fan also. Just
Not mine.
Oh,
That's probably mine.
it's Nabashin's
Not mine.
twist. I should be able to get it cut out in the audio, but I just want to let you know.
Yeah, it's real hot.
I bet. Thank God it's cold in my basement, or else I'd be miserable through these 12-year-long recordings. Get this up. Sorry,
Bless you.
guys. I'm very sick. I've been sick since Wednesday, and it's not fun. But luckily, I have this branded Mike's Hard Lemonade.
That's another sponsorship right there.
It's the only tonic water I need. It is Friday, June 8th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Tony Horvath.
Hi.
Brian Nabashin Jackson.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Do we need context, or do we just?
You know what? If someone could give me context to that, I will greatly love that.
You don't even know.
No, because like Aaron did that like a while ago on Game Grumps, and like it's like I can't find it again, and I want the context, but I can't find it. But yes.
Okay. Joining us this week, special guest Moises Taveras returns to the show.
Hi everybody. I don't know how to follow that up. Just like last time, I don't know what to do.
Moises, I believe you promised to sing anime at me.
Oh man, are we just gonna kick it off with
I want.
that?
Were you like gonna save it for the Moises Taveras sings anime segment later on in the show?
I mean, can we make that segment and do it later in the show?
Yes, we can do that.
All right.
Now
all right.
I want
I need to
set this
warm
up.
up. You know?
Yeah, I know. I understand. Get your frazzles all together. Moises Taveras of OKBeast.com. He's got to do his vocal warm ups. We just talked for 30 minutes, and that wasn't enough of a vocal warm up, which you can watch.
To be fair, I was mostly quiet.
It's not true. Wait, I got you in there. Bonus content you can watch on youtube.com/irrationalpassions. It's pre E3 week. Moises is here. Moises, you're from OKBeast.com, correct?
I am from OKBeast.com. Hi, what's up?
How would you describe OKBeast to the folks listening out there? We had Blessing on relatively recently. Recently. How would you describe OKBeast?
I would describe it with 2 words.
Yeah?
Games, culture.
Oh my god.
'Cause I'm pretty sure that's the bio on the Twitter account. No, yeah, we're a ragtag bunch of dudes who write and talk about video games and attempt to speak to other cultures as well. I think we're more notorious besides all of that for having hot takes, as the kids call it on Twitter. We like to share those everywhere we go. And I mean, we share them privately too, so we're just the hot take company. But yeah, that's who we are.
I want to read to you the bio for OKBeast on Twitter is dedicated to games and culture, so you're very on brand. I also want to note that OKBeast only follows 93 people on Twitter. I'm one of them, so I feel pretty lucky.
I don't even think I got that follow.
Hell no, you
a
didn't.
long ass time.
I don't think they follow you right now. I think that's the case. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put you on blast here, but
I mean, if anything, it's not me really on blast. Alex is the one who runs that. So
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Since the last time you were on, we obviously added a hot take segment with Blessing Adeoye, and I guess we're adding an anime song segment with you, Moises, that we'll get to later. But Nabishin has begun asking some questions to our guests to help our listeners get more acquainted with them. Take it away, Nabishin.
Yes, get more acquainted.
Yeah, you get it? I'm on my brand.
I know. Some Moises. What's your favorite game of all time?
What's my favorite game of all time?
All time.
Infamous. It's mostly because there's a story tied to Infamous that is super embarrassing.
Well, now you have to tell it, dude. Like you gotta think these things through before you say them.
I mean, I'll tell it. At this point, it's however fucking long, like 9 years ago, I guess. At this point, I came home from school, and I had been following Infamous as they were releasing stuff about it. So when I came home from school, I grabbed my money, which at the time I used to leave home because I didn't really have a life outside of home. I didn't have a need for money, and my school's always been close to where I live. And it just so happened to be that when I got home from school, my father was always about to leave to go back to work from his break. So I grabbed my money, and then I just kind of bolted out the door. And within like 20 minutes, I was, I went to GameStop, which is like 3-4 blocks away. I had purchased Infamous. I was on my way back, and I was in a particular hurry because I had to use the bathroom. I had to pee. And in that time, my dad had left, and of course, when you leave, you lock the door, which isn't a problem, except when you come home, you grab your money, and you just run out the door, you forget your own keys at home. So
you peed outside your house. This is how the story ends, right?
If it was as simple as just peeing outside my house, it would be a much better story. So I come up the stairs, I knock on the door, because by the time I get into the building, I realize I don't have my keys. And I am like literally about to go. I can't hold it in enough to like call somebody, and because I have friends who are like relatively close to me. Um, none of like I'm so close that I can't call any of them and say like, hey, let me walk over and use your bathroom, please. Um, and so I think I call my mom at that point to see if she could maybe come home from work, which is also relatively close by. And she can't. So I think I just sort of resolved to pee outside, and as I'm going like down the steps, um it just kind of happens. And so I pissed my entire left pant leg.
We've all
Um
been there. It just kind of
it is
happens, man.
it's warm, it's the warmest water, the warmest liquid I've ever been in.
It's not
My
water, my man.
whole yeah, not water, not water. My left leg is like incredibly warm, incredibly damp at the same time. It's the weirdest feeling I've ever had. Um, and
Was this the first time you peed yourself, or
the first time I peed myself since like I was a kid in diapers, yes.
okay? You always remember your
And
first.
so I just walk out of like the staircase on the first floor, and this lady is walking into the building, and I just like sort of ask her like, ma'am, is there any way that like I can go into your apartment and like clean up or something? Like I really don't want to like walk 5 blocks to my parents' house with half my pants soaked in my piss. And she's nice enough to actually let me in. She lets me like, she gives me the privacy to like take off my pants. She gives me like her son's pants. She doesn't watch me or anything. This doesn't get creepy at this point. She's
She's
totally
a good
nice old lady.
Samaritan.
Yeah, no, she's just a nice older lady who like let me change at her house. And then after that, by that point my phone had also died. So then I have to call my mom on her phone. I'm just like, Mom, I'm at this lady's house. Like, if you want to come get me or anything, no, I just want to get home. I want to play my game. This wasn't worth pissing my pants. And then eventually, like 20 minutes later, my mom passes by. She picks me up. She thanks the nice lady. And I go upstairs with half my like a pair of pants that's half
With your
soaked
pee
in my
pants,
piss.
yeah.
Yeah, with my pee pants. And
And that's why
then-
Infamous is your favorite game of all time.
that's why Infamous is my favorite game. So immediately after that, of course, I changed into like what I would wear now, which is like just shorts, because I was home. And I sat down for basically the next week, and I played Infamous entirely through like 3 times. It became my comfort game at the time. I think I was also playing that in the lead up to Prototype, which was I think was released like literally a week later.
Mhm.
But I got like a surprising amount done in Infamous in that week. And I think eventually Infamous became a free game after the PSN outage.
I think it was Infamous 2.
Was it?
It was one of the two.
Yeah, at some point, Infamous became a free game. I don't know if it was after that or before that.
Could have been PS
Um,
Plus as well.
Yeah, it could have been PS Plus because I was one of the early adopters actually of PlayStation Plus among my friends. And yeah, it always became a source of comfort for me. I've definitely played through that game at least 10 times. I can
Nice.
get runs like it's the one game I'm confident that I could speedrun.
Wow.
It's my game, which is unfortunate because that series doesn't have much goodwill nowadays. Second Son like left a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, Nabashin, burning bridges.
I
God
like
damn
First
it.
Light, but Second Son didn't do it to me, dude.
No, and I mean I get it. I get it more now, and I even got it at the time, but I still have a very deep love for that series and specifically that first game. It was also one of the first games that I ever played that had a semblance of like a real plot, because it was one of my first PS3 games too. I'm pretty sure I got my PS3 for the first time earlier that year. And yeah, because my PS2 kind of broke immediately, and since we were too broke to replace it, I just kind of went without games for a really, really long time. So that
Man.
was my sort of like first mature-ish game, unless you want to count Jack 2, which I don't count.
Nope.
Uh,
Don't want to count that.
yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite game of all time.
Dude, shout out to the PSN outage because I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
This podcast existed through that.
that was a really dark time for me and my friends. It was around the time that I got really into Call of Duty Zombies, and it was like every weekend, me and my friends at the time were playing that all day. And then I think SOCOM 4 came out like 2 days before.
Yep.
It was like it
SOCOM
was
4
SOCOM
came
4
out
and Portal
with,
2, right? And Mortal Kombat.
SOCOM. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Good
SOCOM,
Props.
SOCOM 4 I think had a Resistance 3 beta, which is why I wanted it. And yeah, then like 2 days later it was out, and so I couldn't play any games with my friends anymore. It was a really dark time in my life, you know. I had to do homework for that month.
I remember it so distinctly because like Tony Scott and I went to a GameStop to get Mortal Kombat 9 at a midnight release, and we kept making fun of people for getting Portal 2.
They're like, I'm here for Portal.
The game that ultimately I think Tony and I both walked away liking a lot more than Mortal Kombat 9, even though we both liked Mortal Kombat 9 a lot. And then like 3 days later the PlayStation Network goes down. So yeah, that was a good week for Irrational Passions. Man, a lot of memories coming back, Moises. You bring it, your pee pants is bringing it all back.
I'm glad it functioned in some way.
It did. No. All right, go ahead, Navashin. Continue.
You're good. What's your favorite video game setting?
Oh, Velen in The Witcher 3 still kind of takes the cake for me.
Really?
Recently. Yeah.
I feel like most people like Novigrad of all those settings.
Novigrad is good. Novigrad is very dense. I think it's a really well realized city, more than most. Because I think most cities and games go for the sort of perceived scale from like a human's point of view, you know. And so, but like they usually expand outward instead of focus on the weird sort of like verticality and like the claustrophobicness of a city. But Velen does a really good job of sort of evoking like the famine that's going on there a lot during your stretch there. I think it's like the best realized sort of like wild setting in a game. I think it was the first time in a game that like I genuinely sort of felt like a connection to the game, like outside of its story, and just because like wow, this is like it's a real looking setting. It looks and feels real. Every AI like behavior in that didn't feel too manufactured. It felt almost natural. And like on top of that, it has a nice variety to it. That it like the different parts of Velen sort of bleed into each other actually really well. I feel like on most game maps, it'll really quickly go from like, hey, you're in the desert to hey, it's fucking snowing to hey, you're in a gigantic city. And I think Velen mostly keeps with its sort of thematic or signature look, while also bending it to look, you know, like a bog, how a bog would look, sort of on the eastern part of like a flatland, sort of. And so yeah, I think Velen is probably the best game world, or my favorite game world.
Cool.
Last question. In your opinion, what is the biggest video game travesty that has happened? And by that I mean like either personal or just like a game didn't come out the way you want to, or didn't get recognized the way it should, or anything like that, in your opinion.
I'm really sad about how Brink turned out.
Okay.
That was around the outage too, I believe.
Yeah. Brink was another game that I was really looking forward to. And it looked really good, and it promoted like a fluidity in games that wasn't really common at the time. And I think games didn't even get that fluidity down for another few years, and it's still like a little lacking nowadays. Um, but of course, it also like looked fluid and was anything like but. And then because memes are memes now, like Brink became Brink went from like a tragedy to like an inside joke of the gaming industry, sort of, or
Mhm.
at least people like adjacent to the gaming industry. And I don't know, like it was a game that like I never played much of because it like the bit of it that I did play wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. And I actually really desperately want somebody to revisit that idea because I think Brink had a good idea behind it, like even in terms of its premise. I just don't think it delivered as well as it could have.
I
Brink 2, but that's a call.
Yeah, Brink 2 is being announced in 2 days at the Bethesda
Don't even
conference.
fucking play with me. I will lose my goddamn mind if there's a Brink 2.
A lot of people bring up Brink too. I don't know. I thought that game looked really cool too. To hear it came out, and it was very underwhelming. It is a bummer. Was a big bummer for me at the time. Moises, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's no problem at all.
It's always a pleasure to sit down and chat with the most written word friendly of the OK Beasters. Those other guys, they're all about video and like modern
No, yeah,
platforms.
yeah. If you ever see something written, no, we have people who write for us too, but most written stuff, yeah, on OK Beast is by my hand, which is why it's all so bad.
They're touting like a bunch of written stuff for E3. All right, is that going to be all you too?
No, so actually, I am leading on editorial for this event. It's my first time sort of coordinating anything of that scale. I have some experience editing some friends' work. I know Quinn like writes for you guys now. I like used to edit a bit for him. I was a really like shitty editor in that I wasn't always there to help.
Oh, I'm
But
never available to help, so you're fine.
there you go. I'm better than Alex O'Neill at editing.
There you go.
Uh,
You heard it here first.
but yeah, so I had to sort of reach out to people to write for us, which wasn't too hard because I had a pretty good idea of who I wanted to suggest because I didn't know that I was going to be leading editorial for this whole thing. But I already knew who I was going to suggest. So then when it was on me to contact them, I already had a list. I've worked sort of with some of these people to some sense, so it won't be my first time working with any of them, or at least with most of them. It won't be my first time working with them. And yeah, I sort of want to maybe ease off a little bit, but I know that when I edit my own stuff, I am kind of mean to myself.
Yeah.
I've been trying to write something for like the last week or so, and I got like 500 okay words, and I didn't even like copy it over and save it somewhere before I deleted it all and just started from scratch because I looked through it and I was just like, there's no redeemable part of this. Um, I hope I'm not that mean to them, because I kind of want to be in the trenches a little bit on their pieces. I feel like I have to as the guy coordinating them. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. And you'll also see some stuff that I write. But I'm sort of prepping articles in case things come true, sort of that I can just lightly edit those maybe and boom, push it out there. But it's going to be an interesting challenge for the next week. If you want to text me at the end of next week and see if I'm still alive,
I will.
That would be a nice check-in because I'm not confident I'm going to make it.
Oh, you'll be fine. I believe in you. At least you're not there running around having to write and go see people and whatnot.
I almost wish I was, though. I kind of think it would be better because at least the adrenaline of being there would encourage me more.
It's true.
Here, I'm home, like this laptop is set up on my bed,
Yeah.
which is where I'll primarily be working from.
Yeah, true.
So I was actually about to head out of town this weekend. I was about to record this podcast in a house upstate. And then stay over.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna stay over for the weekend, and that was just gonna be a lot of partying, like while E3 was starting.
Yeah.
And I had to make the conscious decision to not go because I sort of need to be here. That being said, I'm not gonna be like watching the EA conference tomorrow because a thing came up, but I'll have to catch up on that later. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be at work all day tomorrow. I've ultimately, I think, decided that I'm just going to watch EA with the Easy Allies when I go back and watch it. I just feel like I'm going to just have more fun that way instead of just watching it raw the first time through.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. Because the EA conference is going to be a nightmare.
No spoilers, though. I'm going to try and stay off Twitter. I do got to still hold that in high regard.
Okay.
Let's get right in the show. To kick things off, we're going to start with some housekeeping. Plenty of amazing, the ring the doorbell, housekeeping. Plenty of amazing stuff went up on the site this week. We've got a review of Detroit Become Humans finally up, written by Logan Wilkinson. I talked about it last week before it had published. It's excellent. You should read it. Enough said. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire review is up by Jarrett Green. That boy knows a lot about PC RPGs that I don't, and I suggest you read that if you're at all curious. He does a really good job at kind of like introducing some of those concepts in the second half of that review. It was very enlightening for me. George Cruz wrote a review for Shape of the World. Full disclosure, our good friend Ali Mushka is doing the PR for that game. So she helped them put that out. Congratulations to her for helping her first game launch. But George partnered with Mike Burgess to do a video review of it. So he did the VO and writing of the review, and Mike did the video editing for it. And it came out amazing. I really think you should watch that video. You can read the review, or you can do both on the website, irrationalpod.com. And review of Moonlighter went up from Mike Burgess, another video review. I don't know how Mike edited both these reviews in the same weekend, but he did a great job. We'll talk about Moonlighter later because I've been playing it, but it's a really great review from Mike. And of course, the new episode of Input is up, talking about the Steam policy updates. And they also do some shout outs on that episode as well. They've been doing a lot of shout out episodes where they just kind of highlight articles and people, and they're very good, and you should listen to them. If you missed it, get acquainted. Episode 3 is up there with Brandon Gann. We did E3 predictions. By the time the audio version of this goes out, it'll obviously have been too late. We'll be in or past most of the announcements of E3. But if you want to hear my predictions that are probably almost all wrong, you should go listen to that. I'll say, like, listening to the kind of funny Gamescast E3 predictions, I was like, man, like, I feel like I did a good job capturing that same dynamic on that show. And if you like that kind of thing, I think you'll like that episode of the Get Acquainted. So, which was my goal. But yeah, that's all the stuff up on irrationalpassions.com. A lot of hard work out there. We're doing some E3 post shows. We're going to do a post show for Microsoft and Bethesda on Sunday. I'm going to be unavailable through most of the day on Monday, but the writing team assures me they will try and do stuff for Square Enix and Ubisoft. And then I'll be around. We're going to do one for Sony on Monday night as well. Just kind of talking about the announcements and everything, our feelings, reactions. And then we are not doing anything for Nintendo as of right now. We're not going to do anything immediately after. We might try and do something that night, but we'll see. I'd like to do one, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's E3 plans. Obviously, all of that will probably have already happened. So we're going to try and lean off the talking about E3 this podcast because we record on Fridays. The episode goes out on Tuesdays. The people watching live get the kind of benefit of it, but we already did all of our bets and everything last week, so we're just going to have fun and talk about some video games. Tony.
Hi.
Video games. What you been playing, Tony?
Yes.
Yes. After you've been burned by Bless Online,
Uh-huh.
what does your video game life look like now?
Straight League of Legends.
Just nothing but League?
Nothing
Oh,
but
man.
League.
Do you feel the tendrils around you choking you?
So, I don't know. Like, I played probably like a solid 60 hours of League this past week.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. But like, I don't know if I talked about this on the show last week, but like after work on Friday of last week, so right before the show, I was like, all right, I'm gonna I feel like I'm gonna be playing League for a while. There's nothing else on the horizon that I'm really interested in. I got no MMOs anymore, so I've got this time, and this game is what I'm playing now. So I'm gonna make the most of it, and if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna do it right, because I'm me. I do me. I put my sweatpants on like Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna play ranked like a lot, and I'm gonna get out of like the garbage tier of ranked. So I started that on Friday of last week, and I don't know, I started playing when I started playing League again. I was playing a different role than what I was good at previously, and I played that role, did terribly in my placement games, and then got placed like really low, like garbage tier. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get myself to good tier. And so over the past week, I played 65 games of ranked League of Legends, and successfully went from like shit tier silver 5 to gold 5, which is top 30% of players. Which is like really fucking good for a week. So I'm pretty proud of that. I just hit gold 5 yesterday.
Now, is League of Legends going to become your life again in a way that it was once in 2012? I mean, I would say it already has, actually.
Maybe.
Who's your main? Who's the new character that you like the most?
Hanzo.
No Hanzo mains on this podcast.
Yeah, dude, it's straight Hanzo.
No, they have like a ninja in that game. I forget his name.
They probably have like 5 ninjas. There's a million characters in League.
I think his
Yeah,
name is
there are
Genji.
120 or something. But okay, so yeah, like I don't know, over the course of these games, right? Like I had already played 100 ranked games just over the couple, like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever that I've been playing League since I started playing again.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I started playing AD carry, which is like how I place terribly and that's like I'm not very good at that role. And I'm not. We can talk about this later, but they did, and actually we won't. I'm just going to summarize it right now. They destroyed that role. Like the way that they're doing patches right now are really fucking with the AD carry role, which is like super interesting. So I wonder what's going to happen there, because they're making these like sweeping changes to AD carry that are like making it not a good class to play.
Interesting.
Though, like I feel like that's not their intention, right? Like it's not their intention to just remove that one of 5 primary roles from the game. But anyway, I started playing that, and then I was like, okay, nah, like I'm going to play the role that I was good at, and started playing support again. I did that for a long time. I played probably 150-ish games as support. And then I got to the point where at around like, and this was all up until and part of this like push to not garbage tier League. And halfway through that, I got to like silver 3 and 90 LP, which is like halfway to where I was going. And I couldn't carry anymore playing supports. I kept getting like garbage teammates who are like auto-filled into the jungle or like don't know how to play AD carry because it's silver, so people don't really play the game that much. And so I couldn't carry playing a role that doesn't have like kill capacity and stuff like that, at least not as much. So I switched to jungle, which is the role that has like the most game carrying, at least early on in the game. Like they can do that the most. And since then, my win rate on every jungler that I play is like 80%, and that's how I finished my climb. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been playing junglers. There's jungles in a really good spot in League right now, so it's been.
Do you play
cool.
Teemo? Is he a jungler?
No. So I play Xin Zhao, Udyr, Kayn, Talia, and let's see who else. I think those are that's mostly it. Those guys.
Okay.
Talia's this like new hotness. Like the Korean pros are all playing her because there was a change in this same patch that kind of destroyed 80 carries that changed her so that her one ability, which used to only do its full damage the first time out of 5 hits it hits an enemy, now does its full damage on all 5 hits if it's to like a jungle minion. So now she just wrecks the jungle. Makes her really fast, and she's like the only viable mage jungler, like not a fighter. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Xin Zhao.
Xin Zhao is the top #1, like most OP. Ban this or have it on your team. And if you're not first pick, don't not ban him. Basically, he's like super ridiculously strong.
Xin Zhao. I just like to say it. Xin
Yeah,
Zhao.
I have like 85% win rate on him.
I'm gonna call my firstborn Xin Zhao.
Xin Zhao Taveras. Shout out to Xin Zhao, Moises' future child. Is that what you've been playing, Tony?
Xin Zhao?
Yeah.
He's who I play the most.
I meant video games. But
yeah. That's what I've been playing. Just League.
Xin Zhao. Nabishin, what about you? What you been playing?
Not much, dude. Work's been killer, so I haven't really had time to play much video games. Like when I do play, I just play Detroit, and like Detroit's has mostly been like I just do like a set of us doing Marcus, Kara, and Connor a day, or anytime I play, I just like do a set of each one of their part stories, and like then that's where I stop.
Okay. Where are you at in the story?
Getting through Marcus's dumb bullshit puzzle, like
Oh yeah.
just walking around the city, just like, oh, where's this thing? Let me look at my hand, and like that was a very, very bad sequence. And you know, you're totally right, Laura. It's like his stuff is just like the weakest of the game, and he's like his stuff is like the most David Cage's, because like Connor's is like incredible. I like Connor's stuff. Like it's like, almost every moment of Connor's stuff is like just really, really good, and Kara's stuff is just obviously just fascinating. Just like the stuff she has to go through and this girl she cares about. So I'm just totally invested in that. It's just the market stuff has just been falling kind of slow off for me.
Have you seen the bird apartment with Connor yet?
Yeah, I just did that whole sequence. That part is
like one of my favorite scenes in the whole game.
Yeah,
so good. That the music that plays during that scene is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say like Marcus has his ups and downs. There are parts of it that are good. What did you think about the junkyard scene?
I thought it was like it was cool. It was interesting. But I don't know. I didn't get much out of it.
Yeah.
No, obviously I could kill androids there, but like I didn't want to, and you know, it just stumbled around over a good while. Like I like the aspect of it, like, you know, like I can't hear anything, so I have to like get like the thing to make me hear and actually hear what's going on and see better and stuff like that. So I like all of that. But like I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'll say it honestly landed better the second time. Because it comes off as that like this is pretty heavy-handed, right? Like is this supposed to be horrific and like terrible, or is it supposed to be weird how it is, like this kind of like I'm here to do a thing and get out, like so it's hard to know what they were going for with that scene. It still troubles me in that regard. Like I just don't know what their aim was. So but yeah, I that was the scene where, like, you know, Marcus's physical appearance changes a little bit there, and I appreciate it. It gives him a little bit more color and personality, especially in the eyes, more literally. But yeah, I'm curious to see you keep with it, because
oh yeah, I'm still loving the game. I'm just like I'm kind of in a gaming lull at the moment, so
yeah,
that's one of those things.
We're in be hype about video games, but not necessarily play a lot of video games season.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Is that all you've been playing?
I want to say I played something else, but I can't really even think of what it would be. Like
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I've been literally thinking about replaying those games. Like I've been jonesing to play that again, so I'm probably buy the collection like eventually. I need to buy Sushi Striker. Um,
Is that
and
out yet?
that came out yesterday, I believe.
Oh,
Got an email
I
from
have a
Nintendo
purchase
about
to
it.
make.
So I hope it's out.
Switch.
Yeah, dude. And I didn't play that much of Mario Tennis. I wanted to, but like I only just played like the tutorial really. I didn't have time to really like get deep into it, but like it seemed super fun for what I played of that.
Yeah, I didn't play any of it. I didn't get the chance, but it seems cool.
Yeah.
I watched Blessing play it on stream. Like I think the night it came out. The game looks good. Game looks also like the crappy Nintendo like infrastructure can't support like the multiplayer in it a lot, but also it's like it's a beta sort of. The game I know those betas are usually sort of dated, but the game comes out like in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see like how that lands.
With how well like the Mario Kart Online stuff ended up working out, like I have a little bit more faith that it'll probably be fine upon full release. And Splatoon 2.
I mean, yeah, Mario Kart more than Splatoon 2 does like act up though, really randomly too.
Yeah. I've been lucky in that I haven't had much trouble, but we'll see. Maybe they're trying some different infrastructure type things for their online backend. So that might have been why they wanted to do this tournament beta. So
that's what I'm basically hoping for at this point.
We'll see. They've at least garnered benefit of the doubt at this point, which is good. More than you could say before with Nintendo Online. What, Moises? What have you been playing?
All right, so let me pull up the doc because I got like 20 games that I put
you
down
have
here.
5 video games. You took a picture and put it on Twitter, I think last night, of you installing Skate 3.
Yeah, like 2 nights ago, I think the Wario 64 tweet came through that like Skate 3 was $5, and I think I didn't do it last time because I've just been in a bad money place, but I got some money back from a horrible thing that happened where a company took like $200 from me. But I got that back, so I purchased Skate 3. Skate 3 is fucking phenomenal.
On Xbox One backwards compatibility, correct?
Yes, on my Xbox One that I don't touch for anything but older games.
I was about to say I didn't even know you had an Xbox One.
No,
so.
Right behind me. I actually started using it recently because it means that I can. Recently, it's meant that I could watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine from the safety of my bed. But every now and then, like I have like Catherine installed there. I have the Portal games, Left 4 Dead games. I just have a whole bunch of 360 games, honestly, at this point. But yeah, I bought Skate 3 finally. Played it for the first time since it came out. I even streamed it for like an hour and like 5 minutes on Mixer. And yeah, I really just wanted to get back to a skate game because I think I heard rumors like you always do right before E3 that Skate 4 might happen.
Hashtag Skate 4.
Hashtag Skate 4. I really hope I need a Skate 4.
I have a question for you, Moises.
Sure, shoot.
This is a thing I heard this morning in a video published by Easy Allies, and I want to ask it to you, and the rest of the panel feel free to respond. And it's about E3.
Okay.
Will a big boy slip?
The fuck does that even mean?
It is, in my opinion, the single greatest bet the Easy Allies have ever created. I don't know if you're hard agree with that, Nabashin, but I lost my goddamn mind.
It was one of the best.
Yeah. Will a big boy slip, Moises?
What does that mean? I don't watch Easy Allies. What the fuck does a big boy slip mean?
If you see a big boy slip, you know that's a big boy.
I'm starting to think that this is a mistake.
During all of the E3 press conferences,
Okay.
will a big boy slip?
You mean like if a demo will fucking go?
It could that could happen. I didn't think of it. I thought of it more in the context of a game. But a real life person could walk on stage and slip, and that could qualify as a big boy.
Jesus Christ. No. Well, I don't know.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes, because
yeah.
I want it to happen.
Fucking Christ.
Is Skate good?
Skate is really good.
Okay.
Um,
Would you really want to Skate 4?
I really do.
Tony Hawk's Skate 4?
Okay, so I was actually telling Blessing because he was in the chat while I was streaming it. I did not play Tony Hawk games outside of American Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have like no reverence for the Pro Skater games. I definitely don't have any reverence for the the Ride game that came out on like the Wii. Um, but yeah, I mean, if Tony Hawk wants to come back and sponsor Skate, I don't care how it happens. I just want Skate 4. Skate 3 was a game that I was really excited for around the time that it came out because it was a bigger push for them to do like multiplayer and for you to like make your own like skate crews basically. And it was right around the time that I was finally making friends who had like the same systems that I did. So I really wanted to get into it because skate culture was the shit back then. And it never really came to fruition. I played like a little bit of Skate 3 back in the day, but never a significant amount. And I think Bless wants to play it at some point now because I don't know if I convinced him to buy it or if he already has it, but it's like on his Xbox now. And I'd really like to see if the idea of having a like virtual skate crew still hold up all these years later. But for the most part, like Skate 3 is just a really functional like skating simulator. It's a little bigger than I thought it was in terms of like the play area. Uh, and I don't remember if they ever were like straight up about how it was sort of inspired by San Francisco. Um, but having now played it, there is a place called like Daily Something, and after you get outside of like a college campus there, it's basically one big ass hill all the way to a skate park, on basically like the lowest valley basically. So having gone to San Francisco now twice, and then playing this and realizing it was San Francisco was a little nice in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a really functional skating game that makes me miss when skating was the shit. Because I have a board under this bed that I have not used in like 3 years now. And it actually made me really want to take it out and go for a ride.
Go wildin' on the skateboards. That's what the kids say. Right?
Exactly. That is exactly how the kids say it too. You fucking nailed it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like skate is controlled all with the right stick, right? As far as like doing tricks.
You do slides on the left stick. And yeah, like your tricks are on the right analog stick.
Okay.
That's
And
cool.
there's I don't know about the variety of like inputs, but there's like if you just push it down and then diagonally upwards, it's like a kickflip. If you do sort of the quarter circle, it's a pop shove it. If you just go straight up and down or down and up, it's an ollie. If you do the inverse, it's a nollie. And yeah, I don't know how many more tricks there are than that, but it's pretty much all dictated by the right analog stick. And then they have the weird create like a park function. That's a little weird in that it like tasks you with sort of making some areas friendly for you to skate. And I don't know how much that actually carries through in the campaign per se. Uh, but it's a decent feature. I mean, it seems like there's enough tools there to make an actual robust like skate park. Um, but that was around the time that Little Big Planet I think happened, and Little Big Planet just completely scared me off from like any sort of level building tools like that. And yeah, that's Skate 3. Um, I only played that for a little bit,
The
and
Tony Hawk's Underground games were the only ones I got into.
yeah, I mean, Underground 2 is the one that like everybody from that series specifically, the one that everybody references as their like all-time favorite
I like the
is
first one a lot.
yeah.
So
I
I would
unfortunately never
recommend
played
it.
it.
I bet you would dig them, Moises.
I probably would. I was actually watching a video today from Mark Brown, who does the Game Maker's Toolkit series, and it was about score systems in video games, and he was talking about how I think he was specifically referencing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, about how those games were really good at like scoring you based on how you play, and making that sort of integral so that it made you do like all the extravagant skateboard shit that those games wanted you to do, which is not what Skate wants to do. Importantly, I didn't realize that Skate was a more direct simulation of skating rather than the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah.
But yeah, like while Skate goes for like more realistic simulation of that stuff, yeah, apparently Tony Hawk Pro Skater is all about doing the wildest shit you can.
Very true. There is like a hotel level where like the hotel fountain is like drained out, or it might be a pool, and you are doing like it's like a normal, I don't know what they call them anymore. Normal like ramp, like a U ramp, and you're like
I think it's called a half pipe. Right?
half pipe. Thank you. And I'm an old man. And you go down one, up the other, and you go eventually so high that you like go break through the glass
Of course.
in like the hotel area and like go up into like a secret area. I
All right,
liked
so-
the thug games because they were areas that you could also just walk around and explore, find
Okay.
secrets.
I would like to get my hands on it. I'm pretty sure those games were PS2 era, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a PS2 that I bought for like $5. That's in my drawer. So the second that I can get like the cables for that, I want to go like shopping for all those old games and finally sit down and play them as they were meant to be played.
Sure. What else have you been playing?
So I just actually published a review for a game called Wizard of Legend, which I
Yeah.
know Jarrett reviewed for you guys.
Yeah. You liked
According to him, when he tweeted at me, the game is litty to titty,
it. Yeah.
which is an endorsement that I am 100% behind.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite roguelike games that I've played.
Yeah, it's a wizard roguelike.
And it is a wizard roguelike. It's a dungeon crawler. The environments and the enemies could use like more variety, but it's still like good besides that. I think what that game specifically does really well is that it's much more action oriented than your normal roguelike. Where like in that game it's sort of about moving around the space like really as efficient as possible, sort of. Wizard of Legend, not Wizard of Action. Wizard of Legend really wants you to like get into a lot of fights in that game. And it specifically makes you play around with a at a pace that those games don't usually use, and with a skill set that those games don't really give you. Like lock you into like a really tight space and just sort of let you loose. And like the ultimate thing that I came away from that game with was how the customization in terms of your abilities is so varied, because it lets you basically equip 4 different moves from like 5 different elements, and that number of abilities only grows the further you go through the dungeons. And it just really makes you feel legit like the Avatar. And I've never played a game that made me feel like as cool or as fulfilled in that sense until I played Wizard of Legend.
Yeah. Looking at
and
like
it's
gifs of the game, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like if you look
No,
at a GIF or a video, it's like very stylish, like in how like you're throwing fireballs like they're nothing. Like it's very like Dragon Ball Z esque to reference the
Yes.
shirt you're wearing,
Yes.
Moises.
Yes. I
uh,
don't think they can actually see. Yeah, I have a Dragon Ball Z shirt on.
Listeners can't see, but we
Yeah,
can.
no, I mean the listeners are asked out. That's whatever.
Wow. Putting
No,
our
I'm kidding. I'm
putting our
kidding. This
listeners
is
on
my
blast,
podcast.
huh?
No,
Listeners, we love you.
We've been pretty forward about fuck the listeners for a long time.
Dude,
on
we
this
were
show.
we were featured on iTunes What's Hot this week. We gotta respect the listeners.
were.
Straight up fuck the listeners, dude.
Listeners out there, I love you all very much.
I love you too.
Moises is wearing a yellow long sleeve Dragon Ball Z shirt.
I am.
It's got Goku on it.
Yeah. It also has words on the sleeve.
What do the words say?
Dragon Ball Z.
I should have guessed. Yeah, it's very cool though.
No, yeah, Wizard of Legend is dope.
You
I
guys-
think
Oh, go
I think
ahead.
the thing that I like the most is sort of like exactly how good the parallels are between like I keep talking about like the Avatar in reference to it, but like I said in the review that like the kit sort of that I'm using right now is like really earth heavy because I always wanted to be an earthbender ever since I
Me
was
too. Earthbending was my jam.
and it totally lets you do exactly like it lets you move exactly like the earthbenders in that movie.
Yo, I don't mean to cut you off, but on the subject of earthbending,
Yeah.
the jungler
Fuck the
that I
Diley.
mentioned
Oh,
earlier
sorry.
Fuck Diley.
called Talia is almost exactly an earthbender, and it's rad. It's why she makes it so much fun to play. She straight up just looks and feels exactly like that one earthbender from
Toph?
Avatar. Yeah, Toph.
Does she have like
She actually has a voice actor from
Tall.
that did one of the voices on Airbender, on the Airbender too.
Oh, cool.
Jesus Christ.
Does she have a
It's-
skill shot where she like lifts a rock up and punches
So
at
her
somebody?
main ability, she pulls 5 rocks out of the ground and shoots them in a direction.
Nice. That's cool.
Okay, see, so that's exactly like my standard attack in Wizard of
Yeah.
Legend.
So
Where
fucking
like
cool,
you
dude.
punch and you kick exactly like them, and while you're doing it, you're
Rocks are, like,
shooting out
flying.
rocks at them.
That's cool.
It's a really cool game that really like encourages that you just like you can rock whatever kit you want really and just like feel incredible using it. And yeah.
How
I
is
need
like
a-
what's the curve? Because it is a roguelike, right? You lose everything when you die.
Yeah, so you have two separate currencies. You have one that's like these gems that you carry with you outside of the dungeon, and you have the gold coins that you use inside the dungeon. And really, so it's light on that sort of stuff a little bit. Like there are still like shopkeepers in the dungeons that you can buy spells from. You can exchange spells for a random one. You can buy items. There's like one really weird vendor who, like his items, they just look menacing. You probably shouldn't touch them, but they'll give you some benefit. Like all of that stuff's there. But yeah, there's you lose the coins when you die, and you lose the abilities that you get as you progress. So usually at the end of like a boss fight, you'll get a free card that's basically the ability, or you can also buy them from a shopkeeper, and so you'll lose any that aren't the 4 that you can have when you start the dungeon, and you lose all your gold coins, but you can use the gems to buy spells and equipment in the hub area before you go into the dungeon, and those are like they're priced somewhere in like the teens sort of. Like there's a move called a signature arcana that is the big one that if you charge up your meter it'll do like a super attack.
Yeah.
And those are like 75 gems, but for the most part, because you won't get a lot of gems, you only get the gems at the end of a boss fight. Most spells and most items that you'll buy though, there'll be something like 11 to 17 gems or whatever, and that gets added to your permanent like the equipment that you can switch in and out in your hub area. And you can switch out your spells in the hub area too. Yeah, that's sort of like how the currency works. In terms of like a skill curve or anything, like it the enemies get stronger attacks. It's like the same attack, it just hits harder for the most part. And in terms of geometry, like more traps will be added the further you go. And there's something like 9 dungeons before you get to the final boss, because it splits it up based on elements. So there's an ice part, there's a fire part, and there's an earth part. And before you can fight like the ice boss, there's 2 ice stages before it, and that sort of structure repeats itself across every element. Um, and so by the time you get to like the second elemental boss, you'll have a huge amount of powers. But the game is withholding on stuff that isn't currency. So like health, you won't really find too much. There is always a vendor that sells 1 potion,
Yeah.
but he only ever sells the one. So it's like the game wants you to move fast and like fight fast. It also wants you to be super careful though, because you have like a pool of like 400 health to start, but that still gets knocked down pretty quickly. So it's it's like this weird meld of like a more action oriented game and a roguelike. And it's like sort of light on some roguelike stuff, but in a good way, because those games don't really ever they don't ever really entice me enough to see them through to the end.
Okay.
And Wizard of Legend is like the one that does make me want to finish it. I still like haven't beat the last boss, but I have come very very close to beating the last boss.
What did you play it on?
I played it on my Switch,
Does it run well?
but yes, it runs very well. Runs perfect.
That's my only concern. What did you give it out of 10?
So we don't do scores, but I would give it a 8.
So like a 12 wizards out of 18 council.
Uh, try like 4. No, I was gonna make a dumb 420 joke. No, yeah, pretty much. It's a really good game. It's a really good game. Everybody should play it. You should play it, Alex.
I'm thinking about it. I gotta get some Switch games before I go on
Yes.
vacation.
Do that.
So I got Bayonetta. Obviously, I'm excited to. I'll probably finish that. So I'm trying to get some cocked and loaded other games to play. So I might get back into Mario Odyssey. We'll see.
You beat it, right?
I did finish it.
Okay, so you're just going back for the.
I didn't ever even go to the dark side of the moon.
Okay, that place is a nightmare.
Sounds fun. That's what I want out of the game.
Yeah.
What else have you been playing? I see you got some kind of old hats on here.
So 2 of these are Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch,
Mm-hmm.
which, because it's summer, basically my competitive crew that plays those games is like back up and running. So I've been revisiting those a lot more often these days. I I was mostly in Overwatch because I think ranked season 10 started up,
Yes.
and also the anniversary event it maybe just ended.
It might still be going. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I haven't managed to get any of the anniversary skins. At this point, I don't care. It's too late. But I've been playing both of those competitively, especially because the Siege new season started like last night, or rather just yesterday, and then last night. We all finally got back on to start our trudge into ranked.
What do you play
we-
Siege on?
I play all my games on PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of
I-
folks play Siege on PC. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah, I think I might have been the one who got Andrew Taylor to buy Siege on PS4, and then I think we played like 3 times before he abandoned the platform entirely for the PC.
Yeah. Sounds like a bad friend, Andrew.
Yeah, no, sounds like a terrible fucking. No, I love you,
Just
Andrew.
kidding. I love you, Andrew.
And yeah, I think like NATO and like the awkward pause boys all play on PC. I know Van Aken plays on PS4 with a decent group, but I've only ever played with them like once or twice. Um, Mostly because I got used to playing with the guys that I play with. And I sort of got used to playing ranked specifically. Uh, I never want to say that I'm good at video games. I'm very bad. Um, but
I
I
think
got
you're all right,
used to.
Moises.
No, I'm terrible. But I got really used to playing against ranked people, and so going back to the casual playlist is a little weird sometimes. So I mostly just run ranked with those guys. And yeah, those games continue to be good. Overwatch is less so. Um, it seems like a game whose balance is constantly like swinging either way. I think the meta was at a place like a year ago where it was really stable, and sort of every decision they've made since has really knocked it the fuck off, especially with I don't know if her name is Bridget or Brigitte. I don't know how to say her
Brigitte.
name. Yeah. Brigitte is immensely overpowered and immensely
Yeah.
broken, and it's fun until you're running with a or until you're running against a team that like sort of took her brokenness and built a team like around it to protect her and like to also stay very stationary, because apparently the meta this season is anti-dive, which is basically when you just get like really high powered high mobility characters and just fuck like objectives up in like 15 seconds. So now that game is very much about uh like being stationary sort of, and empowering stationary characters a lot. And like I mean I was gonna say I'm not sure if I like it. I definitely don't like it. um but occasionally like bursting that bubble sometimes is really good. um and that's sort of the fun I've been getting out of Overwatch. And then besides that, and the last thing that I've been playing has been Dark Souls Remastered.
How's that treating you?
It's treated me very, very, very well. Um, I loved that game when I first played it. I was too much of a pansy to see it through to its end. I am further in it now than I was back then, which
Where'd you-
isn't even very far.
Yeah, where'd you get to?
I'm in the depths right now. I'm about to fight whatever boss is in there. I fought the Capra Demon, who I don't think I beat, but was definitely like the last boss that I was fucking around with when I first played it.
Just fucking around with this Capra
Fucking
demon.
around with the Capra Demon, you know? Who doesn't like a goat demon?
I'm sure you know the Gaping Dragon then.
Is the Gaping Dragon the one in the depths?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard the name, but I didn't know like what area he was attached to. I also don't know how it looks, how it
Oh.
moves. I don't know anything actually about the Gaping Dragon.
Gaping Dragon is like one of the most recognizable Dark Souls boss fights in my opinion. It has a
Okay.
very, very unique appearance and it's very cool. It's also a totally optional boss fight. You don't even ever have to say
Oh
it.
no, yeah. I our good friend and like contributor on OK Beast, Chase Williams, he's a huge Souls guy. He's usually the guy that I talk to about those games. He like he told me that like the Capra Demon was unnecessary. And I know that like not all of the bosses are necessary, but to make up for the lost time basically with Dark Souls, I'm gonna make this run like an all boss run.
You are taking technically the easier path to the next mandatory boss fight. You can skip the depths altogether, but
Okay.
I like to see everything in a Souls game, and I
Okay.
think the path that you're taking is kind of a more straightforward path. And
Okay.
it's very good. So
Same. I'm all about the doing everything in a Souls game.
God bless you.
So.
The next mandatory boss is Quelaag, right?
Kellogg, yes, Kellogg's.
Which is a very nice diner, like 20 minutes away from my home.
Yeah,
I should hit that place up after. No, it's gonna be too late. Um,
You always go to
So-
IHOB. Sorry, we don't have to talk about IHOB.
I have an IHOP right there. IHOB. I have an IHOB right there.
Did it flip its thing?
I haven't gone to check it out yet. Actually, I kind of want to do that tomorrow.
I want to
make
believe
sure-
because this has got to be a bit, and I want to believe that not everyone's doing it. So
I don't know. what
if
to
if
make
you're
of this
unfamiliar with what
IHOB
we're
nonsense.
referencing right now, twitter.com/IHOP and go be miserable with the rest of us.
Fucking Christ. I mean, it has to be the International House of Breakfast, right?
Of burgers,
Burgers.
of banging.
Burgers actually just got me thinking about Riverdale, which I just finished up today. And that shows. I don't know if any of you have watched Riverdale. Riverdale is a goddamn mess.
That sounds
And
great though.
It's no, but that's the thing. Like, it's also like the best orchestrated mess I've ever seen on TV.
That's good to hear.
There's like 20 plot lines going at this point that they just drop halfway through the season
That's
and
awesome.
then just pick up in like the last 15 minutes because apparently they're suddenly relevant. And it goes all over the place. I didn't think that it could get as crazy as it got, and I thought it was crazy in its first season. I evidently didn't know shit.
Are there
that
supernatural aspects to Riverdale?
Not yet, but the writers have said that, hey, around season 3 or 4, we wouldn't be opposed to like introducing zombies.
What?
Yeah, no.
Zombies was not the supernatural aspect I wanted.
Apparently, they're willing to take that show everywhere, which is totally in line with Archie Comics, because that comic series has gone fucking everywhere.
How much fucking is in Riverdale?
Oh, there's a lot. There was this really bad part in like one of the last episodes where Archie's girlfriend like comes to his house and
Yeah, she comes to his house, you know what I mean? Nice.
She tells him like at the door like, "Oh, I'm gonna start supporting your father's like mayoral candidacy and stop supporting mine." And it's like this sort of heartfelt moment where like their interests finally align and like they're doing this for the greater good of their town. Yeah, I keep doing this for the greater good of their town and for his father's sake. And like like his girlfriend and his father like share like a look like, "Oh, thank you for doing this." And then it immediately sort of cuts to them going up to Archie's room and just fucking because she's at his house.
See, this sounds all right.
Yeah, actually, like a lot of the early parts of the season are just dedicated to like
Sex?
not necessarily, but like the new relationship feeling.
That
Because
you-
sort of at the end of the last season, like everybody sort of gets together and they finally catch a break. And so there's actually a scene at the end of the first season where like Jughead and Betty are like about to have sex at the same time that Archie and Veronica are like they're literally cutting from one sex scene to another. And then like the first few episodes of season 2 is just like exploring that like honeymoon feeling.
Hell yeah,
So
dude.
there's like the 7th episode or something just has like a montage sort of all the places where Archie and Veronica fuck.
All right, so this show sounds great.
It's a fantastic show.
Video games, Moises.
So Dark Souls is all about fucking the player, which is
Yeah.
exactly how that ties in.
See? Segue.
And no, yeah, Dark Souls is fucking fantastic.
It's great, man. You did the... Oh, yeah, I remember your Twitter journey of fighting these fucking gargoyles, like the easiest boss fight in the game.
God.
You could not. You should have summoned me, bro. Let's hang out. Let's summon each other.
I mean, if you want to play Dark Souls with me, I would be down to play Dark Souls with you.
Please just text me anytime you want to play Dark Souls. I'll hang out and play Dark Souls.
Have you beat it? Like remastered?
I'm more than halfway through it. So
Okay.
I haven't
Are
quite
you
beaten it.
at? Is halfway like at An Orlando already?
I would say halfway is getting to An Orlando, and then like the 2/3 mark is beating An Orlando, and then it kind of opens up the last act of that game where you have to go to a bunch of different places.
Okay.
That's where I'm at, and I'm just kind of meandering around at this point, trying to figure out which one I want to do. I also like, for the first time ever, because I've never done the DLC for Dark Souls 1, I dipped my toe into that opening area of the DLC. I'm like, okay, not quite strong enough. I'll come back to this place later. So, but now
I can't wait to get to like Sen's Fortress for the first time.
dude, Sense Funhouse is a place to remember.
Yeah, I remember watching like walkthroughs when I used to watch them, like around the time that game came out, and Sen's Fortress just looked like a goddamn nightmare.
It is, but it's fun. You know, like the thing about Sense Fortress, it's like one of few areas that you never have to go back to.
Thank God.
There's no backtracking required in that area. Whereas like you go back to the Undead Burg to some extent, and you go back here and you go back there and blah blah blah. But
Wait, are you telling me that I have to come back to the Undead Burg?
Undead Burg less so. It's more Blighttown. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay. I don't know how to get to Blighttown.
You're on your way. Going through the depths takes you to Blighttown.
Okay.
And it's a very obvious, like, that is the straight and narrow path to get to Blighttown, and then there is like a very roundabout way to Blighttown there where you skip all the depths.
That's what I want to know. Like, where is that?
I mean, I could tell you, if you.
I wouldn't mind you telling me. Like, I don't mind getting directions. I just want to experience the whole
Yeah,
game.
I mean, I can tell you. The thing is, like, you know, me telling you doesn't necessarily make it any easier to go that path.
Okay.
Like if you at the Firelink Shrine, right when you start, there is like a kind of like hard to see staircase that goes down, and it leads down to an elevator that leads down to New Londo.
Okay. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's typically
it's like oppressively dark. There's,
and there's ghosts there. And you can't fight ghosts unless you are either cursed, have a temporary curse, or have a cursed weapon.
All right.
That's why you can't damage them. But there's kind of like a caged tower that you can find there, and if you go down there, it'll lead you to this roundabout path that takes you into a corridor that eventually leads to Blighttown. It is harder to go that way though, because there are 0 checkpoints, 0 bonfires along that path until you basically power all the way through into Blighttown, and like you know exactly where a bonfire is. This is how I did it the first time I ever played the game too. I like totally skipped. Because, I mean, to be fair, Dark Souls 1 is way more about that exploration. That's why I like that game so much. And then you'll eventually find a bonfire down there. But the way you're going is kind of like I said, a much more straightforward path.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Moises, how would you feel if we took a quick break? And then when we come back, we talk about the games I've been playing, and then maybe take some questions and get out of here.
I would feel fantastic.
Okay, let's do that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a little bit.
me last year, and now I think
We're live. Also, I was just gonna say that before you say whatever you're gonna say. Well, we're visible again.
no, I mean it's fine. I think we're still trying to do it again this year in Alex's house. So, and this time I'm going to try to make it. So,
We're probably gonna be off weekend again, so you might get double extra lifed. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We should fight each other again.
I don't know. I don't know if I can take destroying you guys 2 years back to back.
I hate how that worked out. I especially hate how it worked out because then Greg got on the mic.
Yeah, Greg got on the mic and said you guys are a bunch of fucking losers, and then
and it was really weird because it's just like, oh my god, like you're kind of my hero, and oh my god, you're also trashing me like live in front of all my friends.
Yep.
It was a very surreal moment.
Just saying, Greg was here. He wasn't there.
I'm just saying we didn't need a celebrity guest to make all that money, but okay.
Damn. I mean, that's totally fair. But it was for a good cause.
No, yeah, we did a good thing.
Yeah. Let's get back into it. I assume Tony's back. I assume that sneeze was him.
I'm here. It wasn't me, but I'm here.
Okay. I still bless up for Tony. There you go. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you. Oh, I'm keeping all of that. It's too good. I played some video games, guys. I played some video games.
What did you play?
I played. Let me tell you. Let me pull up this Google Doc because I don't remember. I played Dragon Age 2. So it's on backwards compatibility. I went and bought that and all of its DLC because I never played the DLC, and I'm like, man, I want to play Dragon Age 2. It's my favorite Dragon Age game. Love that game. Guess what? That game still kind of holds up in the ways that I liked it a lot. What I like about Dragon Age 2 is a very small story, right? You play Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall. And it's essentially telling the story of you leaving Ferelden, the kind of kingdom that the first game, Dragon Age Origins, takes place in.
Thetis.
Yes. And basically it starts roughly the same point or a little bit after the beginning of Dragon Age Origins. You flee Ferelden to the Free Marches, which is another country, I guess, or land. And there's a big city in the Free Marches called Kirkwall. Very confusing because there's also Dunwall in Dishonored. And then Dunkirk in real life, and now there's Kirkwall. Very confusing. But that all three of those things exist, but I think I got it straight in my head now. You flee to Kirkwall, and where your family once held some measure of weight, and then you have to. It skips a year ahead as you spend a year basically working in indentured servitude to pay off the debt to get you into the city. It's very good. Dragon Age 2 is very good because it is this smaller focus story. It takes place just in this one area, and I know it's very funny because it ends up the 3 dungeons of the game are just the same 3 recycled areas that you go through in the whole game. But even in spite of that, the way the characters interact, the way it works, it is so cool because you can take different characters with you on different side quests, and they will give you present other options. You can be like, hey Bethany, who's your sister character, who's mage. You can be like, hey Bethany, what do you think about this? Or hey Varric, what do you think about this? And they'll have different reactions or different things that they'll just chime in conversation, depending on the kinds of quests that you're going on. And I just think that's really cool. And there hasn't really been a BioWare game that does that, or at least doesn't do it as well as this. It's something very absent from Dragon Age Inquisition, which I do not like. I know that's a big part of Dragon Age Origins, though, so I'm not going to say that Dragon Age 2 just did all that. But yeah, I don't know. I started playing some of the DLC in it. Like I said, I had never played any of the DLC. One of them is about an assassin who is Felicia Day, who is just straight up Felicia Day. It's an elf lady who looks and is acted by Felicia Day. And she's really cool. I'm halfway through that quest. It's taking me on some twists and turns. It's been pretty exciting so far. But yeah, just going back to that game, it's very good. It's very good.
How cheap is it?
It's $20 for Dragon Age 2,
Okay.
the base game, and then all of the DLC is $25. So
Okay.
I spent, I think, $45 on everything all told.
I have really wanted to return to Dragon Age 2. That was another game that I played a lot of and then dropped off of. Um, I was very excited to play it because I had just come basically straight off of Origins when that game released.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like the recycled nature, like sort of got under my skin
It's a bummer.
a little bit. It is. But I also loved how that game played, which made me not like it made me not like how much I didn't like the game overall. But I feel like I've heard a lot in defense of it in recent years because that game was sort of comically trashed like everywhere. Or rather like it did well critically and like fans came out and decided to absolutely hate that game. Uh I I don't know like I don't know its importance in like the overarching story. Um but I like there's this one scene that sort of got spoiled for me. That is just like a huge actual spoiler I think for the series. Where Anders, I think is his name,
Mm-hmm.
where like he blows up the church
Yeah,
at the end. That looks
kind of
fucking epic and
sets
like
off the events of the end of that game, pretty much.
okay, and that segues into Inquisition.
Yeah,
Does it?
it kind of ignites the tensions between the Templars and the mages,
Okay.
which leads into the beginning of Inquisition. The thing is, I feel like that part of Inquisition, like, it's dropped pretty quickly. But
Okay.
I've never seen Inquisition through to the end. I know it really is about that mages and the Fade is breaking into our reality, blah blah blah. But yeah, Anders is the thing is, like, if you romance Anders, like, things will play out differently. Um,
Okay.
and it's very cool. In the grand scheme of things, it is not. It is like the catalyst for setting off the mages versus Templar plot that
Okay.
is at the heart of Inquisition. But that was like a long time coming. You know,
All right.
that's like
Oh yeah, because that tension's even present in Origins.
that's like that is the core to the Dragon Age universe. It's what I like
Yeah.
so much about that universe is like this idea that this kind of militaristic foundation was made to control these people that are naturally connected to another dimension full of power and demons also.
Yeah, yeah. That Fade segment of Dragon Age Origins is like low key miserable, but also really cool.
I've never
Um,
played Origins, so
oh man,
yeah.
I mean, like if you're in it, if you're in like Dragon Age 2 or Inquisition at all for like the combat, you will hate Origins.
Yeah.
But if you're fine with like mediocre combat and a really good story, you should 100% play Origins.
Yeah, I've considered it. Maybe someday. But yeah, I don't know. Like Dragon Age 2 is so weird because it feels so low budget in a way, which is weird
Yeah.
because it like came out after Mass Effect 2. And like I think it came out after Mass Effect 2.
You totally did.
Yeah. It's like, you
It
know,
did.
Bioware is kind of like at peak Bioware at that time, but I guess like it could have suffered from the same thing that Mass Effect 3 did of like kind of being pushed out a little bit too soon, too quickly.
If I'm not wrong, Dragon Age 2 was supposed to be much bigger, and I think like the development was actually problematic, and I'm pretty sure they made Dragon Age 2 in maybe something like 18 months.
That sounds right.
Like I think
That sounds
it
like
was
peak
on
EA right there.
yeah,
So,
like I think Dragon Age 2 like got the shitty end of that stick, and that product
It's-
sort of
it's-
suffered a little bit.
it's interesting too because like I think all things considered, the story of Dragon Age 2 is still like really great.
Mhm.
Even if like the way it looks for the standards of the time, it's just so low budget and it looks so rough and it feels so rough in a lot of ways. It's just crazy how that game kind of got pushed out the way it was. Again, coming off of Mass Effect 2, which looks incredible and feels great and feels polished in a way that a lot of those games don't. So
I mean, that was also the thing just for Dragon Age in general, because I think Origins came out either right around the time or maybe like slightly before Mass Effect 2.
mhm.
And like the difference between those games was like day and night.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I appreciate the gulf between the two teams a lot more now that I
Mhm.
I recognize the Dragon Age team and the Mass Effect team are very different, but still, it is massive. Dragon Age 2 is great. I really love that game. What else did I play before I kind of get into the last big thing? I played a little bit more Dark Souls Remastered. We talked about that earlier, kind of where I'm at. Played more Detroit. I'm working on a second playthrough of that. I love that game a lot still. We did a Detroit conversation, a roundtable conversation. We recorded on Sunday. That there were video issues with it, so I have to kind of reconfigure that before it'll go up. So it'll hopefully be up next week. Maybe not next week because of E3, but if not the week after. But Trevor Starkey came on. It was George, Logan, and I, and Trevor. We had a great conversation about Detroit, about how it feels more like a team made this game, how Quantic Dream kind of comes out as a team, more so in that than David Cage as the voice of that team. So I thought it was a really great conversation. Look forward to hearing that soon. And also George Cruz does a very funny David Cage impression.
Oh God! All right, I gotta listen to it now.
Yeah, it's very funny. Last thing I've been playing is definitely one of my favorite games come out this year. It's called Moonlighter. Have any of you heard of Moonlighter?
Yes.
Outside of me referencing the review.
I want you
Earlier.
to tell me all the things about Moonlighter.
Moonlighter is
because
so good. Are you curious
Thank
about
you for
Moonlighter?
I am so curious because during PAX, Jordan from DualShockers, he was very strongly urging me to go to a certain part of the floor where I'm pretty sure Moonlighter was,
Mm.
and I never got around to it. And everything he had told me about that game made it seem like it was 100% my shit.
It's so
And
it's great.
take it away, please. Tell me.
The closest thing I could say is Rogue Legacy. I think it is the closest kind of game to Rogue Legacy,
Okay.
which is not even that close. I would just say like of its ilk of Rogue Lights, Lite.
Okay.
It is like that. It's not a roguelike because when you die in the game, it's not like your character dies. You have to make a new character or anything like that. So
Okay.
I wouldn't qualify it as that. The idea is you play Will. He is a shopkeeper who runs the Moonlighter. Is a small shop in this small town of Renoka. And this town was built up around these 4 or 5 doorways that were found a long time ago. In the doorways are these ancient dungeons full of ancient creatures and massive treasure. So this town built itself up around these doorways to explore the dungeons. There's one big 5th door that is locked, and these 4 other smaller doors that lead to dungeons. And adventurers would come and explore the dungeons, but eventually the death toll was so high that they sealed up most of the dungeons, and Renoka kind of fell from glory. It's no longer a highly populated town. And it's in this Moonlighter is one of like the last bastions of that era of like the golden age of Renoka. So Will, who's now the caretaker of the Moonlighter, goes he runs the shop by day and then goes exploring the dungeons by night to find loot to sell in the shop. And that's exactly what the game is, right? You are a shopkeeper who moonlights as an adventurer. And it's so good. Like, it's such a simple premise. It is all about the loop of It's nighttime, so you go and sneak away into a dungeon, and the dungeon is like this door that's like this slime gateway into like the first dungeon is like it's called the Golem dungeon. It's very like stone dungeony, and the way it plays is very much Zelda-like. It's top down. You have an attack button. That's really it. Like you have a dodge roll, so game's great. And the dodge roll is your main mechanic as far as getting out of the way of you have invincibility frames. You dodge through enemies. You dodge. There's a good tutorial just kind of like you can go through enemies. You can get behind enemies. This is the only way to avoid damage really. There are multiple weapons you can use. One is a sword and shield, so you can use that to guard if you like. So that's kind of like the basis of it. So you go through, you fight a bunch of monsters in each dungeon, you collect a bunch of loot, this dumb stuff that they drop like bat wings or coils or stone or iron or steel beams, things like that. Just all this loot. You find treasure chests in the dungeons, and all the dungeons are randomly generated or procedurally generated, and there's kind of like a little bit of a pattern to it, right? Like there's always there are 4 floors to each dungeon. Technically, there are 3 and then a boss room, and along the path to the next floor, there's always like a spring that you can rest in to heal yourself up. So you go through the dungeons, you kill enemies, you gather items, then you use like this special pendant. It basically costs money, but it warps you out of the dungeon. And if you don't have the money, you can like use this magic item you find pretty early on to like transfer items you find in the dungeon into gold, so you can warp out. You warp out, you go to your shop, and then you like put things on display in your shop, and you set the price for each item manually. And it's like such a little thing to go and be like, I don't know, I got some iron beams. They're going to be $100 a piece, 100 gold a piece. And then you open your shop for the day, and people come and they look at your items. And it's basically they'll look at something and they'll give you one of 4 reactions. This is way overpriced and I'm not buying it. This is a little overpriced, so I'll still buy it. This is just right, or I'm getting away with this with a steal. And you use those reactions to basically fluctuate your prices. And there's basically like a set sweet spot price for every item. It doesn't change over time or anything like that. But it's just kind of like trial and error to figure out what it is. And it's just... Oh, go ahead.
Do you get anything or lose anything from getting one of those responses over another?
So if it's too high, they won't buy it. If it's just overpriced, like too overpriced, they'll buy it, but demand for that item will go down.
Okay.
And if you sell it at the low cost, demand for the item will go up. So you can manipulate the market in a really cool way.
That is cool.
And the way the UI is made, it's super simple of like, just throw this on this shelf, and basically it's groups of 4 shelves, and you can stack them up. It'll remember your last set sold price. So you just, once you have that right price, you just move them onto the shelves, and it like takes care of itself. And it is such a good loop. Like this game's foundation is just like explore dungeon, get stuff, sell stuff, explore dungeon, like rinse and repeat. And it's a very small game, right? You're just the little town dungeons. Not like a whole lot going on, not a whole lot to it, but it refined this loop down to this simple act so well. It's just so good. I love it so much. And like there are more systems that you can get yourself into. Like there are new people that you can invite into your town, like a blacksmith, right? Blacksmith he'll make armor and weapons for you, and he'll improve weapons and armor for you at a cost and at the cost of materials. So some of the things that you're getting, you want to hold on to and not sell. And the cool thing is like you can quickly mark something and put it on your wish list from the blacksmith, and it'll immediately tell you anytime the materials you find are for something that you want to craft. So it's just like, cool, I can tell by looking at this, I need this for whatever thing. I just marked everything I needed in the blacklist. So I'm just gonna put all these aside, and I know what I can sell without having to worry about it. And it's just such a smart system. It's all well thought out.
Okay.
And then, like,
However,
go ahead.
I think you said that there was you've only been into one of the dungeons, right?
I've seen all the dungeons. I just
Okay.
said the first dungeon is the Golem dungeon.
Okay. How's like the variety of like the environment?
Environment's like whatever.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same environment with some changes.
Okay.
Through
Any
each...
mechanical changes or just like aesthetic?
Yeah, they're very, very light mechanical changes. The big thing is like the enemies in each dungeon are actually pretty different from one another. I was really surprised. Okay. Like they do take like, well, here's this enemy type in this dungeon, but it actually does something pretty different, and it'll act pretty differently. So I was really surprised and pleased with how well they mixed up the enemies later on. It's also kind of got a cool story to it. Like as you're going through the dungeons, you are learning a little bit more about why the dungeons are there, and what they're from and why they happen. Now I've gotten to the end, and I've opened the 5th door, which you can only do after beating the boss in all 4 of the other dungeons. It was very, very surprising, the direction the story went. It's both a little bit silly, but really cool at the same time. And like it's just got incredible pixel art. It looks gorgeous. Runs super well. I will say, so there's a lot of technical issues with the game, which is rough. I'm playing on Xbox One. There's a lot of bugs, like a lot of UI bugs that pop up, like. Sometimes when I close the menu, it's still all darked out, like the menu's still open, and then I have to open the menu and close it again. Sometimes like a character got stuck in my shop, and I actually had to quit the game and load back up, so that I could leave the shop, because if any customers are still in the shop, it won't let you leave. I ended up losing a pretty valuable item when that happened. Sometimes the game crashed for me once. The frame rate gets a little choppy in very specific situations when there's a lot of projectiles going on. Not necessarily a lot of enemies, but a lot of projectiles happening. So, and that's just a couple. I've seen a lot of bugs, which is a bummer, but it doesn't deter my experience at all with Moonlighter. It's phenomenal. It's like just such a good loop. It's scratching all of those roguelike itches, but it is not necessarily a roguelike, even though, procedurally generated dungeons, procedurally generated loot, things like that. And it's just, that loop is so good. Of just going, getting stuff and selling stuff. And like you can upgrade your shop and it'll get bigger. And some people will come to your shop and try and steal stuff, and you have to like tackle them, and get the stuff back. That actually gets kind of annoying toward the end, where it's just like, come on, stop coming to my store, because it's like they use the same 3 character models for like the people that are coming to steal it, so you're just basically profiling these people, waiting for them to steal something.
Oh, no.
And you're just like hovering over where like they'll come in, they'll sit in a place and look at something for a little bit, and then they'll go over and try and take something, and then you have to tackle them, so you're just hovering near them the whole time. But it's a lot of like, when that's happening, it's like, well, if this person waits at the counter too long, they'll get frustrated and they'll just take what they were going to buy and leave, and they won't pay for it. So it's a lot of going to the counter, ringing somebody out, trying to stop somebody from stealing something, also going and restocking your shelves with everything else that's in your inventory. So it's running the shop. It becomes more interactive as time goes on. You can also get like a shop assistant that'll like run the shop for you if you'd rather just like, hey, you can take a 30% cut. That's fine. Just sell all this stuff.
That's a big cut.
It's a big cut. Once you get that far in the game, you're still like making so much money. It's not as huge a deal.
Okay.
It's like, take all these items and just sell them, so I can just keep dungeon crawling over and over again.
Yeah. And you said there was randomly generated loot. Is the loot only for sell, or is it also stuff that like you can equip, or
you
like
can get lucky and weapons will drop. I've never seen armor drop in a dungeon.
Okay.
But I've seen like really powerful weapons drop in some of the later dungeons.
Right.
It's very unlikely, but
can you give me an example of like what one of those weapons would
so
be?
like the 4 or 5 weapon types, you have a sword and shield.
Okay.
You have like gauntlets, like fighting gauntlets. That's actually what the weapon I use pretty much for most of the game, because they're really fast. A broadsword, like a two-handed sword, which is the other weapon I use, because it has like a charge up spin attack. That's very good. A spear and a bow and arrow.
Okay.
And so I saw like a level. So there's the base level, and then it branches out, and there's two different paths of upgrades for each weapon. One is like, this does more damage, period. And the other is, this does slightly less damage, but it'll apply status effects, like poison or fire damage or electric damage. So I got like a level 3 sword and shield drop in the 4th dungeon by luck, which is cool. It's great. It's a phenomenal game. It's just so well made. It's such a good loop. Like I said, it's got some issues. It's got some bugs. I definitely ended up liking it more than Mike did in our review. If you go and watch that, it I think sat with me better than it did with him. But I loved it. I still love it. I'm basically in the final thing of that game. So I put like 20 to 30 hours into it though in this week alone. Like I played it for like 8 hours straight one night. That's how good it was. Just like, it's very much that, well, let me do one more thing and I'll sell everything in the shop, and okay, now I'm like really close to this upgrade, let me just do one more and I'll sell that in the shop and I'll get that upgrade, and okay, let me just do one more. It's very much got that down to a T. It is perfect for Switch, and it's not out on Switch yet, but it's coming. It is coming eventually. But it is so good that I would say I wouldn't even wait to play it unless you really want to, because it is worth playing right now.
Damn. Everything you just said makes me really want that game.
It's phenomenal. It's $20, Xbox One, PC, PS4. I played on Xbox One. Like I said, I don't know if bug or performance wise. I think we got an extra code for it also, so we might give away a code for this game at some point. So we'll see. Moises is like, hey, give it to me. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Moises. So if Moises starts playing it and he's like, I need to pay for this game, what's up? you know where the code went. The game's so good. So yeah, that's the thing I've been primarily playing this week. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I always say that, and then I'll remember it the next week afterwards. I'll say a couple of things I did outside of play video games. I was on Ready Set Games Cast, which is a podcast hosted by Bryce Mills. He's a very cool dude at Last Geek on Twitter. He had me on that show. Teddy Chinaris and Darian. They are the other hosts of that show. They both are big streamers. I guess Bryce does streaming too. I've just never seen him streaming. That was a lot of fun. It was like a 3-hour podcast. It was their longest show ever, which just is always. I should have told them again. I did tell Bryce ahead of time, like, hey, you guys ready for this to be your longest episode of the podcast if you're having me on? And I should have reiterated, but they didn't. They were not ready for that. It was a great show though. We talked about robot genitalia a lot.
Oh
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We also talked. We talked about other stuff, physical games.
No. That's it. No, that's
all
it.
you need.
You hooked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about robot genitalia. I was also on another show. I don't want to. They have like a new name for their series. I talked about Kingdom Hearts with Jake and Matt from. Oh God, it's Limited Run. I think is the name of their series. Where they've enlisted me to come and talk about Kingdom Hearts, all the Kingdom Hearts games with them, which I'm very excited about. We started with the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts 1, obviously, and then we're going to talk about Chain of Memories and 358 on the next episode. The Three Best Friends podcast it's on Twitter at 3BF Podcast.
That's Mike, right?
Mike was not there. He doesn't know. He doesn't know about Kingdom Hearts. He didn't give a shit about Kingdom Hearts apparently.
That sounds like Mike.
But Jake and Matt had me on, and that's gonna be a series. Limited edition is the name of that series. That they've enlisted me to do. They have fun names for all the episodes. The first episode was called Deep Dive, which I thought was thematically appropriate.
God damn it.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that with them. That's out there now. Like I said, at 3BF Podcast on Twitter. So those are non-video game things I did this week.
I was also on Kiss Kiss Gang Gang.
Yeah, you were. How did that go?
That was great. I had an amazing time doing that. It was really fun.
Yeah, talking about Mass Effect.
The trilogy, yes.
That is a game about relationships. So, for sure.
Those guys are dead to me. They were supposed to have me, I think, right around now on that show, but I think we've had a scheduling snafu.
Maybe you should be a better friend, Moises.
I mean, I could definitely be a better friend. I'm an awful person. But no, I love Andrew and Jessica to death.
Just for your sake, Alex, Andrew was really concerned if our recording was longer than yours. He's like, "Oh man, you must have been the longest one. It's been over 2 hours." And then I looked at your schedule because like we ended like pretty much on 2 hours from the dot. And then I looked at yours. It was like, oh, it's 2 hours 16 minutes. Like, no, Alex is still the most talking this boy around. So
here's my thing. All right, it's not that I talk the most. I try and bring the conversation out of other people. I feel like I do an okay job.
Even when it's not your show?
Even when it's not my show. I'm trying to encourage the conversation. That should be my brand.
He's always in host mode. That's
it's true. I cannot turn it off. Like when I'm on another podcast, it's just like hostess with the mostess.
Even just in real life, you're just the host.
I try and tone it down in real life. It depends on where I'm at, right? So here's my thing. We're gonna do news this week, but like, what's the fucking point, y'all? It's gonna be E3 starts tomorrow. So why?
Fuck the news.
Fuck the news.
Don't even play the sound clip.
I'm not even gonna play the sound clip.
Fuck the sound clip.
Damn.
Okay, should we? We should elaborate the bet though.
I was about to say I was about to bring that up.
So Namish and I made a side bet last week that, what was it? If Nintendo will show any 3DS games during their E3 Direct.
Yes.
I said they will not. And if I got it right, what was it that you have to do?
Play actually have like a multiplayer night.
Yeah, we're gonna play multiplayer games together. When we play, we'll figure that out because I'm gonna win for sure. And then if they do show even a single 3DS game, I have to make a new News and Gaming sound clip, intro bit.
Hasn't this already been like a thing for if you lose a bet and you still didn't do it?
No, that wasn't it wasn't like a bet though. It was just like, oh, I'll do that. And that has to be done by September 1st, correct?
Yes.
And I committed to that. I will do that. I've actually been thinking about making a new one recently anyway, so this is perfect. But I do want to say Nintendo laid out their E3 plans, and they said for their Direct that they were going to be laying out upcoming Switch titles. They didn't say anything about 3DS in that. We'll see. We shall see. Now, here's my question to you, Nobshin. If Reggie Fils-Aimé walks on stage with a 3DS,
Who's Amy?
If he walks out with a 3DS in his hand, does that count?
We say game, so
okay,
no.
okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure.
Persona game, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they'll announce a new Zelda game for 3DS. Who knows? With my luck, they'll probably do that.
So Captain Toe for 3DS.
Sure, that they got that Mario and Luigi game coming out too.
Mm-hmm.
They got 3DS stuff cooking until 2019. Let's take a peek into the mail sack if I can get this music ready. There was some news. There was like a.
Talk about Destiny.
I want to talk about the Destiny thing, but I also don't. Because we're already.
Too bad. I'm running the show now. I want to talk about this.
Do you want to talk about the Destiny thing, Moises?
I mean, we could talk about it briefly.
Okay.
It's your show.
Way to backpedal on that one. They announced basically Destiny 2 Year 2 plans. It is an expansion called Forsaken. It comes out September 4th. Here's the thing. They are doing... So the expansion is coming out. Is a major expansion. It's $40, just like it always has been. That's fine. Whatever. They're also doing an expansion season pass. So there will also be seasonal content or like... I assume like some kind of level of expansions afterwards.
Yeah, it's 3 expansions. 3 smaller sized expansions after Forsaken.
Yes. Throughout, I think it's winter 2018, spring 2019, and summer 2019
Yes.
are the plans. So basically,
They all have names too, so...
Yeah, the names are announced, et cetera, et cetera. And that will be $30.
Yes.
So they're selling I think it's called what? Destiny 2 Annual Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fucking Disney World. For $70, you can get all of your 2 content.
Did Vanilla Destiny only had just one raid then?
Vanilla Destiny had 1 raid.
I'm sorry. Destiny 2, I'm sorry.
Destiny 2,
Destiny 2.
It did only have
Vanilla
1
Destiny
raid.
2, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it only had the 1 raid.
Okay.
And then each expansion, Curse of Osiris, not Trials of Osiris, and Warmind each added a raid layer to the existing raid. Which I still have not played either of those. I'd very much like to.
I've heard that the raid layer in Warmind is legit one of the best encounters like they've designed in that series.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've heard generally good things about the raid layers. And when you sort of think about it a little bit, their approach to the raid layers makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you think of what the raid in Forsaken is going to be.
Yes.
Because in Forsaken, the raid is now like it's a whole location, sort of like a patrol area would be in any one of the locations in Destiny. And it's a location purely dedicated to endgame content.
Yes.
And it's supposed to like respond to the things that you do in it. So supposedly, from week to week, the things you do will change it to the point where I forget the name of the place, but the area it will play out differently, like even a week later, depending on what you did in it.
Yeah, it's something the city.
Something city, I forget.
I'll see if I can pull it up. The Dreaming City. So
there you go.
There is a new area, and part of that area is like the actual raid, from what I understand. Like I think there will be bits of endgame area in that, and then the raid area, the Dreaming City. And they said the way they described it, and it's hard to know, how genuine this is, but I want to believe that the Dreaming City will be different in a year versus when it first started, right? Like I imagine it is similar to the groundwork that they laid out with the Leviathan raid, in that there are multiple environments that are multiple different challenges, and maybe those different challenges that you have to do, or the order you do them in, or whatever, will change depending on how you play it.
Yeah.
And I think it like looking at it, showing, they've not shown much because obviously they want to keep it pretty close to the chest, but just looking at it and seeing it looks phenomenal, right? Like I'm super into the idea of this raid. I'm very excited to play it. It's the fact that like they're selling this annual pass that is got $30 more on top of it. That's a little weird. Like I'm here for it. I'm probably gonna buy it. Like, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm mostly in it for just this raid, honestly. And this seems like way, like you were saying, Moises, way more. It can be shaped around a raid layers type thing way easier. In that, like, if this is like a new area to the city that you couldn't have accessed before, that they can kind of drop in there. And they specifically said the updates to the raid are going to be raid layers. They're not going to be adding additional raids. It doesn't seem like. That's cool, especially if hearing that the Warmind raid layer is really good makes me feel a little bit better about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot, and basically the Taken King expansion came out, and that was it, right? There was no $30 attached on top of that, so that's what makes me hesitant about
There
this.
wasn't, but then there was the Rise of Iron. Like a
Yeah, but that
year
was
later.
year 3,
Yeah.
right? That was like it's supposed to equate out to an entire new Taken King equivalent, and that was also cheaper. Rise of Iron, I think, was $30. I don't know if it was $40.
Yeah, Rise of Iron was $30.
So, and that was smaller, so that did make sense. So, like the things they're adding with Destiny 2 Forsaken seem cool. New story, new area. Basically one new major area, which is like the coastal cliffs or whatever it's called. And that is part of the
It's in the Reef.
The Reef, yeah. That was an area from the original game, or it's a new area within that part of the world that they've built up before.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's expensive. It's a lot to ask.
It is. I think I'm like you, and I'm probably gonna buy it all, because I love Destiny. Destiny, the original Destiny, is one of my favorite games ever, actually. And I ended up buying everything.
Did you pee your pants when you were trying to play that game?
That one, no, that one was devoid of any piss. Outside of maybe my excitement for the original raid. But yeah, that was a one and done thing. Option, god damn it.
I'm never gonna let you live that down now.
I mean that's fine. I can let that live on the internet.
They're changing how a lot of stuff, like weapon types and like the different weapons you can bring with you now.
I mean, to be fair, that's all without Forsaken. Those are all updates that are just going to be pushed to the game. But yeah, Forsaken is going to be the primary content that they're using to sort of launch all of that stuff.
Gambit
I don't
mode
know.
sounds
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know if Gambit is coming with the update or with.
It's probably just going to be Forsaken because the map they're showing looks like a Forsaken map.
Yeah,
Gambit was the thing that they were touting to be like a new way to play first-person shooters, and it does seem cool.
Yeah, I think it's actually very cool. I think there was a way in which it could have been a little lackluster, where it was just because the premise of the mode is basically it's two teams doing their own sort of PvE instances, and then after a certain amount of that, they can send a big boss to the other team to fuck them up. And I think that in and of itself is cool. But I think that would have also been a really weird and like sort of lackluster point to leave it off in, which is why I'm glad that also when you do that, like you can send a player to aid that boss, like against that other team.
Yeah,
I think that very specific like invasion thing works very well.
Yeah, especially
since the player element, any player can make like big plays in the PvP, and so seeing that sort of manifested in a PvE setting is cool.
Yeah, and it being like another thing to get mad loots from is cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool competitive mode idea. But we'll see.
Hats off to Bungie.
Yeah, I'm hearing about everything that they're adding in Forsaken. I'm really excited about that expansion, honestly. I think the raid sounds awesome. Story's a cool premise. I wish it was more of like playing into the kind of ending of Destiny 2 Prime. But that's fine. I didn't expect them to play into that for a little bit. And the Gambit mode sounds really great. And they're pushing the light up to 600 is going to be the max light, it looks like, going off of the gameplay that they showed. Or at least the raid ready light. We're currently, I think it's 380 up to 400 max, I think.
Jesus Christ.
I think you need to be 380 to do the new raid layer, which I am not.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's what I've heard. But I'd really, if anyone listening out there wants to play that raid layer in Destiny 2, let me know. I'd really like to check it out.
People still play Destiny?
Yeah. Moises, let's go. Let's go, you and me.
The current expansion pass bundle is like $20.
I
It's
think it's like
actually discounted.
$15 on Xbox One.
Yeah,
So
but then I have to buy it on
it
Xbox.
might be in parity on PS4. I don't know. So
Either way, I do want to check that out. Maybe
hit me up, fam. I want to play video
I
games
will.
with you, Moises.
I will text you. Text you right now.
There you go. Do it. You won't, coward. That's really all I wanted to talk about. Days Gone got a release date. February 22nd. I'll believe it when I see it. We'll see.
Crackdown 3 got delayed.
Crackdown 3 coming out February 2019. Surprising no one. What
will be the game of February?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Yikes, that's a coin flip, my man. I want in my heart, I want to believe it's Crackdown 3. I want to believe, because like you were tweeting, like that they are just taking their time and they really want to make this something that's really fun.
Yeah, as long as it's fun, then it'll be totally worth it, I think. Because like it's not like understand that game's not going to be like the game of the year, quote unquote, for like what we want from something like a Last of Us or something like that. But it can still be a fun game that you really enjoy and be a game of the year for you personally because of that. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, it sucks that all these delays had to happen to Crackdown, and like if they had just not announced Crackdown, it would have been fine but it's just this thing of like Crackdown was in the limelight, and it was also at one point an Xbox One X launch title, and it was also cloud destruction early on in Xbox One's life cycle. Like, there's way too much pressure put on a game that was like not beholden to that kind of pressure. And like 5 years later, it'll be coming out, and it's just like a bummer that I bet that game will be pretty great, but the scrutiny applied to it will be not what people think it's going to be. So
it also walked back a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
like the cloud destruction is apparently like only in multiplayer. Maybe
it's probably not even going to be in the game.
Yeah,
like almost guaranteed. So,
but Terry Crews is in it.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Terry Crews is great. So, yeah. I mean, like the real news starts tomorrow. So, all y'all will. It's weird. People listening to this, they'll already know most of the crazy stuff. I'll have already cried to at least 2 Kingdom Hearts trailers, I would bet.
Can I say for like a half a second that I completely forgot that trailer? The trailer, the last one, the one where the Vanitas one.
Yeah, the Vanitas one's bonkers,
because like,
man.
Yeah, I rewatched that trailer. I lost my shit again.
Yeah, dude, me too. Because I watched it with I did the Easy Allies their stream.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that trailer.
I forgot too. I was in the same
oh
boat.
My god!
It's like fucking Marluxia.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like and like we're gonna play that game this year, Nabishin. Or early next year, depending if they need the time. That's fine. If they need the time. That's fine.
Just don't put it out of that game. That's all.
That's literally all I care about. I'm going to ask you, Nabishin. I know, I'm sorry, everyone, that we're going to take a very brief Kingdom Hearts divergence. Please,
all right, see ya.
Please forgive me.
Text me when you're done.
How do you feel about being able to swap the keyblades on the D-pad?
Oh yeah, that is a thing.
And the keyblades like transform and shit.
I mean, that's just a new layer of the thing. I think that's a new way is to keep it more fresh. 'Cause, like, if you want to like be reductive about Kingdom Hearts, like, are you already just doing this, just maxing like square the entire time while you're fighting? So, just like add a new layer to your combat, and like I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I hope they don't go too buck wild with the keyblade designs. I like how pretty grounded they are. Before then, I guess like Birth by Sleep, they went pretty buck wild with them, but we'll see. All right, that was all. That's it. Just want to ask one question.
Wow. Came in under a
Tony, you're
minute.
back.
I was like 100% going to interrupt you in 15 seconds and be like, and that's the Kingdom Hearts minute.
Yeah, dude. That's it. I mean, we're gonna have our own shows for that soon enough. Maybe we'll do a seasonal Kingdom Hearts podcast.
I'm going to be on that podcast.
Oh,
Just to come in and be like, I know everything about Kingdom Hearts.
That's right. Gummy ships are gross.
Gummy ships are gross.
Fuck gummy ships.
Gummy ships have got to be in the Kingdom Hearts 3. I just want to know what the fuck that looks like, dog.
Like, I have very little knowledge or opinions about Kingdom Hearts. My one thing that I'll stick true to for the entire rest of my life is fuck the gummy ship.
honestly, hold on to that feeling of like fuck this and you're fine. You know,
Fuck you,
just
Moises.
describe that to all Kingdom Hearts shit.
Don't do this.
And here's what I'm
Don't
gonna
get me
do.
wrong, I love
come on
Kingdom
that
Hearts,
podcast,
but
right?
also fuck all the Kingdom Hearts bullshit.
I'm gonna come on that podcast and I'm gonna read verbatim from fanfiction.net some yaoi slash fic between Riku and Sora.
I mean, how do you know I haven't already written that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna read yours.
Go ahead.
I mean, that's probably the most like accurate story you'll get out of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the most. It's the most.
It's the only
grounded
cohesive
story,
one you'll
yeah.
get.
Dude, whatever, man. Sora has something that Riku can never have, and that's having Riku as a friend.
What
Stop.
the?
It's fucking beautiful.
Stop talking.
You're a writer on that game, aren't you?
I wish, dude. That's like my ultimate form. I haven't reached my final form yet. We didn't really get any questions this week. We got one tweet though. It's for you, Moises. It's from Chase Williams at Bodacious Chase. He says, "Tell Moises I said what's up."
What's up, man? When are you coming to? Well, no, I know when you're coming to New York. Hi.
Is he gonna come hang out with you?
He is gonna come hang out with me. He is also helping us with some E3 work next week, so you should expect an article from him. If it's anything like anything else that Chase has written, it's going to be fucking fantastic. And yeah, I like that boy. He's a good boy.
Tell Chase
He also he was like the member of the month for like his gym recently. So like shout out to him.
Is he ripped?
Oh yeah, he is. He's yoked. Boy, that boy has the gains.
Sick gains. Yeah, tell Chase to come on the show. Tell him to fight me about
Chase.
Persona 5.
No, you do not want this.
I don't.
You really don't. I've DM'd him many times about this. His beef with Persona 5 runs deep.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why.
I think deeper than your love for it.
That's not possible.
No, you haven't talked to him.
I've seen. Listen, man. I've seen his tweets.
You haven't DM'd him though. When you DM him, it's an entirely different.
Why does he hate Persona so much?
Have him on the show? I guess.
I
if
don't
you
want to
wanna
have that
get to
conversation.
it is so much, but yeah, I mean, I can't say that like I don't understand where he comes from.
I can.
I even sort of get it, having recently played some of that game.
Mm-hmm. I know you're not like a huge fan of it either, but
I love Persona 5. I replayed it and some things didn't quite line up compared to like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 4 still like stands out much more to me, and even to Chase, because Chase is playing through Persona 4 right now actually.
Really? Does he hate that game?
No, he loves that game actually. He loves it to bits. Like he's steamrolling through that game right now. I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to him, he finished up Naoto's dungeon.
Okay.
And I think he's going for the golden ending, so he still has a fuck ton more ahead of him. I still only got the bad ending. I actually didn't.
I don't know how people play that game and not. It drives me fucking wild. You gotta go back, man.
I don't have a Vita charger. I kind of left my
Oh
Vita
my
charger
God.
at the Airbnb when I went to Canada.
What is your life, Moises? I will send you my Vita charger. I will never use it again. Just fucking take it.
Okay.
Sweet. All right.
There you go. I'll happily take it. I love charity.
There it is. That's it. That's the show. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we all go home now.
I'm already home. I'm in my home, actually.
Same. I never left.
I never left, Moises. You go home.
So I'm the only one.
Where are you? I did not prepare a bet this week. I don't know if you did, Namashin, but I'm okay taking a week off of bets. We got a lot of bets cooking.
We got a lot of bets. No, we're good.
Yeah, we gotta close the loop on our E3 bets before I'm ready to start making bets.
So, am I hearing Team Flot or whatever the hell you are this season concede the bet this week to Team Meme?
No, dude.
All right, great. I'll take my free points. See ya.
You think of a bet every
All right.
week.
Here's the bet.
Okay.
Does Scott do anything interesting while he's away?
Yes or no? Ooh.
Yes or no?
I say yes.
Well, see, I was going to say no. So this works out.
I mean, like, it could be interesting to Scott.
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, that's fine. It could be something Scott finds interesting, but Scott's not going to listen to the show.
What are
so next
Scott's
time, next week when he's
interests?
back on, yeah, Scott doesn't have any. So,
It's fair.
so when he comes on next week or whatever, whenever he comes back, we're just going to say, hey, Scott, did you do anything interesting at all while you were at that trip? And if he says that he did something that was interesting, then you win. But
Okay.
if he's just like, no, I went on a trip and then I came back, which is what Scott's going to say, then I win.
All right. Fair. That's very likely and also
And
fair.
if I win, we exchange point totals.
No, that's not. No. I will give you the point, but I will not exchange point totals with you.
Wow, you're afraid? You think you're going to lose?
No, because we worked hard for those points.
Yeah, and I don't care.
Moises,
What's up?
thank you so much for coming on the show. Did you know that you could tweet your questions at IrrationalPod and use the hashtag IPQ and we'll read them on the show?
I actually did.
There you go. You knew.
Yeah.
You've done that before. I think.
Have I?
I feel like
I think
you
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
If you like this show, you can rate and review us on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher. It helps us out a lot. And you should go listen to our other shows, Input, a video games news show, and Get Acquainted, a one-on-one interview show that I host, that I'm on. And IrrationalPassions.com, there's a ton of really great stuff out there that you should go check out. Videos, written reviews, video reviews, opinion pieces, RPG primers, the works. Moises, as a proprietor of OKBeast.com, give me one reason why I should support you on Patreon.
If you guys get us to 400, which we're very close to, actually, the OK Beast Boys are doing a D&D series.
Is NATO DMing this series, theoretically?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
Because we did record a D&D session once. Ian was our DM. And I'm pretty sure he's trying to flex those creative muscles and do a whole campaign. That is very much what I think we were trying to do with that one, and then we never got back around to it. So that exists somewhere. There's a recording of that session, and we might pick up from there. We might start a new one, but suffice to say, if you are even remotely a fan of like how buck wild they are on Stir Fry, I think it's very good if you guys get us to make that D&D.
Now tell me, what is
400.
Stir Fry? I don't know. I've not heard of this podcast. Please tell me. I assume a podcast. I don't know what it is.
Stir Fry is our Patreon podcast that you can get at, I believe, the $1 tier. Yes, the $1 tier. And Stir Fry was supposed to be a comedy podcast. I think it's
and then
more...
the first episode they talk about race and Kim Kardashian and
Yeah, no, it got heavy. I don't think I ever got to that half of Stir Fry, but I definitely did hear like the beginning. And they are actually very funny. It could be a comedy podcast if they could keep it under control. But I guess the whole point of Stir Fry is to just go buck wild. And it's very good. It's very very good off the rails content. And you get it once a month at the $1 tier.
Yeah, I've not listened to episode 2 yet, but I'm excited to. So
I am scared to, because every time there are people in our Discord already telling me that they're talking trash about me, and I feel like it's every other podcast now. Every other podcast.
I try and
get a
text you
message.
anytime they talk shit about you and I'm listening. So
Yeah, it's the thing that happens now. Also,
oh,
I don't want to interrupt your spiel, I guess.
My outro?
If your outro, I do have an anime song to perform.
it's true. We can close on that if you like.
Okay.
I have one more question for you, just because I haven't talked to you about this, and we are still technically pre-3. What is your boldest E3 prediction? Moises, because the OK Beast guys were not kind enough to invite you on their E3 predictions podcast.
Oh, I know, right?
Which,
such awful people.
To be fair, which was more a like ASMR Master Chief Cortana sexual education podcast, which I would recommend you listen to.
Oh no, yeah.
But
absolutely,
it wasn't
100%
really
listen
about
to
E3 predictions. So, Moises, hit me with your boldest E3 prediction. I want something grounded but bold.
Fuck, you said grounded. Death Stranding has an extensive demo that announces that it's out early next year.
Okay, I like that. That's grounded but bold.
I think that game seems like far enough that Kojima could, under some supernatural circumstance, get that shit out the door.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely show gameplay, but I don't know if it'll be out early next year. Maybe late next year they'll say and delay it. So who knows? I bet.
What's the one game you want to see, dude? Just in general. At E3.
What do I want to see, just in general at E3?
Yeah, it's the one game you want to see.
Uh,
Not even like a game that's like it doesn't have to be a dream game. Just a game you just want to
no, yeah. I think what I most want to see is Cyberpunk, just because that seems like it's officially coming out. The Witcher 3 is like by no means like my favorite RPG, but I think it is probably the newest gold standard of what one should be. And I want to see how they work in a radically different setting. I want to see if, based off of the ending of Witcher 3, if they tie those worlds in even slightly. And I
guess they do leave it open.
Yeah, they do, right? And I just want to see like what the hell the next big RPG is, because at this point that has to be the next big RPG.
Mm-hmm. No, at least on that tier. Dude, I'm surprised you didn't say Ghost of Tsushima, man. It's your boys at Sucker Punch. Dude,
okay,
I'm so fucking excited for Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh my god.
I know you're right there with me, Nabshin, but like the hype is fucking real. The hype, it's at the top of the hype tower, screaming from the rooftops.
Ghost of Tsushima is that one of the 4 games that like they're sort of basing their conference around?
Yeah,
okay.
my man.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a nice gameplay demo.
I'm looking forward to it a lot. I just, that name, I wasn't even really watching the conference when they announced that, so that name's just sort of always been at the back of my mind. And since we haven't really seen anything besides that, it's sort of just it's not existent until I see it.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I have a high bar, but I like Sucker Punch, just knowing that they've been working on this game for literally ever.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for them to show that game. All right, let's get to the outro. You know what? Let's roll right into this anime segment. What will we call it?
A+ anime.
A+ anime. Singing songs with Moises Taveras. Come on, everyone,
right.
Sing a song. It's anime time, Moises.
I mean, yeah, if everybody wants to also sing a song,
I don't know the
that'd
song,
be fantastic.
so are you gonna play some of the song?
I am gonna play it.
Okay.
I'm not sure how this is gonna play on the mic.
People have been waiting the whole podcast to hear this.
Fuck. Wait, where is it? All right. So, yes, I previously said my new favorite anime, probably my new favorite show ever, Assassination Classroom, has really good theme songs as well. And I'm weird, and I memorize Japanese lyrics to animes. I was initially gonna do.
You're not weird. You're among friends.
Like, why would that be weird?
I don't. It's
They
weird.
sing the song
my
in Japanese, dude. I sing the fucking Persona 3 opening song in Japanese all the time, and I probably sound terrible, but I fucking love it.
I have no idea what the Persona 3 opening
Dude,
song is.
It's very good.
I need to do it.
No, that's the battle song.
I know.
Get it together, Nabershin. Dancing Moonlight, all right?
All right, so
Hit me with it.
I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
This is Bye Bye Yesterday from the final arc of the final
This one
season.
goes out to my special girls. Bye Bye Yesterday.
This one actually goes out to Quentin, who watched the show because I told him to.
He liked it, apparently.
I think he loves it. Weirdly enough, and actually perfect for Quentin, he liked The Cop. He liked
Fucking
the
narc.
cop who was like the dad for the whole group. Anyways, this is Bye Bye Yesterday.
Oh my god. How much are we doing of this? We didn't really establish rules.
とにかくもうちょっと待って、叫びも虚しく消えて、僕をたらたら迫るリミット全力怯えてたんだ。現実を容赦なくて、特に時間はやばいね。
Oh my
それ
god,
なしじゃ
Moises.
ねまるまるブランケ奪われて昨日のいてる。
Your dreamboat.
愛もない意味にわかるな。ことで笑ったり
And
悩んだり。
we're actually hearing it from the judges. We're gonna have to call it at that.
Okay.
Now, judges at home, I want you to hold up your scorecards and tell us what you would give the contestant. Oh my god, they gave him a 10. Wow. Or it's actually, if you look at it from this angle, it's a 0-1. Wait. The judges do want to correct it. They are they're adding one thing. What's this? It says 7.9 too much anime. Oh, okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, understandable.
Very biased judge here.
Understandable critique. There was a visual component to that, audio listeners, and I apologize. Thank you, Moises, for hanging out with us. Thank you, Danny Wiesner.
Thank you for cutting me short.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Danny Wiesner, for opening music of two-player co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Tony and Nobshin, for joining me, as always. I love you guys. Big hugs all the way around. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your game, stay rational. We will talk to you next week. Don't you dare stop recording yet, Moises.
Oh no, I'm familiar with this. Yeah,
I know what's going on.
I fucks with the shits.
So I would say what the titles are, but I'm currently engrossed in a league match.
God damn it, Tony.
You said Kingdom Hearts, so you can't say shit.
That's not true. I talked for Kingdom Hearts of a total of less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was in queue for about 5 seconds, and then I was in a game, and you're like, all right, this is only going to be 1 minute of Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, fuck.
What, do you really think it was going to be a 50-minute Kingdom Hearts conversation?
100%. As soon as you said Kingdom Hearts, I was like, I got 30 minutes.
All right. Moises, read the titles.
I forgot to go into the dock.
Wow.
It's okay, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm not even in the
here.
dock.
All right. The titles are Tell Me More, Did You Get a New Car?
Nope, not yet.
MTP Pants. I hate you guys. Hashtag Skate 4. Will a big boy slip? I believe it's called a half pipe, bro.
Will a big boy
Woody
slip?
Too Titty. Jarrett Green.
Yep.
Burgers for banging. Moises' anime intro.
Will a big boy slip?
Will a big boy
What do you think,
slip?
Dalmashin? Will a big boy slip?
No.
I know.
Cause like
I want to see
like,
Bowser slip. That's a big boy.
yeah, that's a big boy.
The biggest.
It's
Biggest, the
honestly,
bestest.
it is the best sentence I think written. It's so good.
Like, cause like if they do like that Star Fox game, and I guess like Peppy would be a big boy in that game, like the Star Fox racing game, and like there's like a banana peel equivalent, and maybe I don't know, just saying something. Yeah,
That could qualify.
I'll say yes.
I'll say yes as well. Moises, what do you want the title of the podcast to be?
I kind of like big, even though like it's a totally inside joke for you guys because I don't.
We reference it enough in the show. I think like we explain it.
You know, will a big boy slip?
Will a big boy slip is a 10 out of 10 gold standard title, and I need that to be the title. Honestly,
Though I am partial to Tell Me More because I set it up and you guys knocked it the fuck out of the park.
true.
But will a big boy slip probably gets it.
I said, to be fair, I didn't say, did you get a new car? I said, did she look like a car? I know there's a lot of crosstalk happening at that moment. I want to make sure it was clear what I said, which was dumb.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah. I You know what? I can say the title, and Moises, do you want to say the episode number?
Yes.
Do you want me to write out what I'd like you to say?
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
I gotcha. Da, 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 da. 382, guys. We're really close to 400.
Can I be back for that one? I promise I won't sing anime.
Yeah, you can't promise that.
You know, if you're not
You're
seeing
right.
anime, you can't come back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bring the other assassination.
We should have
class.
NATO on for 4. No, we might do like a rotating guest. I forgot to mention this. I'm gonna be on the OKB E3 Live conversations.
Oh, I know.
You know. But for our
I
listeners,
see those docs.
Wednesday at I think 8 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. my time. So
All right.
it'll be fun. You're gonna be the person on there as well. I think Moises. So.
I'm positive that I am. Yes.
You were Blessing. Blessing told me all the details, but I forgot.
The dirty deeds.
Me and Bless. I think Bless was supposed to do it. I think something came up, so I think I might be the one on.
Okay,
that
yeah,
one.
because I think he had said it was gonna be you, then it was gonna be him, so that might have changed.
Yeah.
That's fine. It'll be fun. It'll be you.
I saw your name and I threw my name in the ring. You know.
Yeah, I know you like to talk to me.
I love you.
I love you too, bud. All right, when you're ready.
You are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 382.
Will a big boy slip? Nothing else needs to be said. Thank you everybody for watching along for the live stream. We love you all very much. Have a great night.
I love you more than he does.
Wow, that's cold. That's not true.
Wow, you're just gonna say it's not true? You doubt my love?
I don't know. Bye everybody. You guys can stop recording now.